Bigfoot right now, back on the radar at a Tampa Bay park.
He died here in 1978.
So you've got Gilbert the Ghost after you.
Gilbert the Ghost, yeah, great name.
Who are you going to call?
To me, it look like a leprechaun to me. All I gotta do is look up in the tree. Who else in the leprechaun say yeah?
Is something really out there? 3 more U.S. senators received a classified briefing about UFOs at the Pentagon.
Others find it hard to believe and have come up with their own theories and explanations.
Could be a crackhead that got hold to the wrong stuff.
Oh, it's the most scariest, terrifying thing I've seen in my life. Seen in my life. Seen in my life. Seen in my life. Seen in my life.
Welcome to Mysteriousnesses, episode number 36. Welcome to it. I'm your host, John J. And with me, as always, is Lauren Lance and Hugh Carey.
What up?
Yep.
Our special guest this month is Brad Gilmore.
I'm black, just like your soul.
They can see. It
Not
is
all people.
That's
Not all
true.
people
You're
can
right.
see.
I shouldn't assume.
You shouldn't.
Okay, well, I'm black too.
Yeah.
Well, if you're listening on the audio, then you'll have no idea.
Yeah, that's fake news.
That's-
Not black.
That's the mysterious and the
I'm hearing
mysteriousness.
somebody's thing. Oh, turn yourself down over there, Hugh.
Con permiso. Sorry, I'm feeling a little frisky today.
Ooh,
I've been getting the TMS treatments and I'm feeling good.
nice.
What are the
TMS?
TMS?
It's called Transcranial Magnetic Stimulation. So they're
Oh.
basically like shooting electromagnetic pulses in my brain.
Is this like the thing in Requiem for a Dream where they make you bite down on popsicle sticks and then they fry you?
That's electroshock therapy.
Okay.
But if this shit don't work, that's where I'm going next.
Oh no.
And
Oh.
apparently, I don't know if you guys know this, electroshock therapy is still considered the premier treatment method for depression. It's like the most
Really?
successful way to
Really?
treat depression.
Wow.
It seems antiquated and old-fashioned, but it actually works. So
Oh, that's scary. That's terrifying.
yeah, but it's working. The TMS is working for me, so I'm feeling great.
You feeling good?
I'm feeling awesome.
So how does TMS work? If it's not the electrotherapy.
It's not electricity that they're like, because the ECT they actually make you seize and you have to be under anesthesia.
Oh, okay.
So that it's basically like turning your brain off and turning it back on. But TMS is actually using electromagnetic pulses. So it feels like I'm getting like a little tattoo on my brain.
It's like a little brain massage.
Yeah, there's like a little machine. They stick it above your head and it just shoots little pulses in there. And when I leave, I feel great and I have like emotions. It's like, wow, depression. And here's the other thing. I just want to say this. For all you people that are neurotypical, if this is how you feel on a day-to-day basis, you bitches are slacking. You're slacking heavily. Because the shit people wade through that are depressed and we're still functioning like normal people, y'all are slacking. I don't know who here is neurotypical. Probably none of us, but I'm just saying.
I don't
We're
know
on
what
this
it means,
podcast.
so maybe?
Regular brain chemistry.
Nah, man,
Yeah,
my
I don't
brain's
even
all
know. I
fucked up.
don't know if that exists even.
You
Well, I
know-
mean in the sense of like
Not
you
in
haven't
this
been
society.
formally diagnosed with any
Yeah.
sort of like issues.
Unless you're like living in the woods, like from nature or whatever, like without like interacting with like less than 10 people, your brain's screwed.
You're fucked.
Yeah, especially in 2020. And I
Yeah.
think we're all suffering greatly.
That's true.
I definitely have some trauma that, like, I was just thinking, the whole thing we were talking about on another show about, like, catching ourselves in a zipper. I know I know it happened to me, but I can't remember it. I have
Oh.
the scar. I know it happened, but, like, I think it's a memory that my brain blocked out.
Do you
I
think
know-
that you may have been abducted by aliens by any chance?
'Cause
Okay,
that would be more
don't-
interesting.
Because
I
that
don't-
would be on brand.
My cousin, when she used to live with us, she was a kid, she used to draw pictures of aliens, and she'd say, oh, these are my friends. They're the visitors. They come and play with me at night when everybody's
Oh.
sleeping.
What?
Yeah, it used to scare her. So, like, and she's an adult now. She's like, yeah, aliens used to come and hang
Okay.
out with me as a kid.
Oh, she's still sticking with it. Like, no,
yeah,
that's what happened.
She wasn't
Yeah.
like, it wasn't a joke or anything.
Okay.
She's like,
Oh.
Okay, because sometimes I don't know whether to take Brad seriously.
Leprechaun.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
because he can go in, like, Brad is really good at pretending to lie or, like, faking
It's
a lie.
called improv.
Yeah, so, but
Yeah.
It's called
that
acting.
is,
I just lie.
Yeah.
that is terrifying.
Yeah, it is, because I have a big fear of aliens, and like when she moved in, and she's talking about it, I was like, "Yo, this bitch gotta go. She gotta go."
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I wanted to have Brad on the show because he's never done this show,
Yeah, because I'm a big scaredy cat.
and he's afraid of
Everything.
all of this shit.
Okay,
Yes.
so what? So specifically aliens.
Oh, aliens.
Okay,
terrifying.
what is it about
Ghosts
aliens?
as well? Like he was.
Well, yeah, ghosts too. Yeah.
I told him that my mother-in-law's house was haunted before he house sat for them.
Oh, your mother.
So
Dude, they have this creepy picture. It's not creepy, But in the context of where I was at night in an unfamiliar area, it's like a woman just standing outside of a screen door looking into like the darkness. And I swear to God, I looked at one point and it was like looking right at me. And I was like,
Oh no.
That's one of Leah's.
I took it down. I took it down.
That was one of, that's nothing creepy. It's one of Leah's art projects.
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't let Leah listen.
But I was dog sitting for that dog, Chance. I was all over Chance. Like, you sleep with me, motherfucker.
Well, dogs usually can pick up on stuff, so like,
Yeah.
because their senses are so much more heightened.
Yeah.
So like, when I see my dog staring in the corner and it
That
starts to
freaks me the
growl,
fuck
I
out.
get freaked the fuck out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was in my office one time, all the way around the backside of my house, and my dog. We got up. I was gonna take her out. In the other side of the house, I heard someone squeak. The squeaky toy went ee, 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 ee. And it was just me and her in the house. No one else was there, and I freaked the fuck out because it's like that does not happen by itself.
It's probably just a big rat. Just
It
jumped on
it could have been a big rat. If either which way, it was fucking terrifying. And then wait, so I go to walk into the kitchen. Here I am thinking I'm gonna take down whoever's in the house. I go to the knife thing. I pick out this big knife. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take down whoever's in my house for whatever. I have nothing of value. There's nothing in my house that anybody could possibly
Yeah,
want.
but it's yours.
Unless they're like, dog toy enthusiasts and they're just in there for the thrill.
Half a bottle of vodka is about what you have.
No, it wouldn't have, it would have been like a portion, a swig, a swallow left. So we go out to the kitchen and I get the knife and I got this big ass butcher knife and I'm ready to confront whatever's there. And Lucy jets out the kitchen into the living room and then like runs towards the door like she's chasing something.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, this got creepy. So
Yeah.
yeah, I've had a lot of weird shit. Like your house is haunted. I'm pretty sure my house is. I mean, it's haunted, or I've had hauntings. So
Well, we got a great show
yeah.
for you guys coming up in our featured segment. We're going to be talking about synchronicities, which who started reading about this, and then all of a
We
sudden you
got
start
got.
seeing
All
the
of us.
synchronicities. You start experiencing them on your own, and so this is a great topic for the show. So I'm excited to talk about that after the break.
yeah.
But right now, let's talk about
Oh,
something
do we
that's
want to talk about
really
this?
important.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, let's. Hugh had a good idea for you guys that are watching live. It is September here at Twitch, so there's like a big discount on subscriptions right now.
Yeah,
right?
if you sub for 1 month, you get 20% off. If you sub for 2 months, you get 25% off. And if you sub for 3 months, you get 30% off. So the more you sub, the better it is for you.
Yeah.
Sub Club, man. And I'm offering everybody that subscribes during the Mysteriousnesses podcast, if you subscribe, I will give you a 1-card tarot reading to thank you for your generosity. Now, whether or not the tarot reading is going to be accurate, we'll find out. But, subscribe and see, and then we'll see what your future holds.
Yeah, you'll have to comment.
Yeah, I don't
if
know
it's
if I'm.
accurate or
I
not.
don't know if I'm gonna be able to see if someone gives us a subscription.
I can.
Oh,
I'll
you
see
can?
I
it,
can
yeah.
see in the chat when someone subscribes, I
Yeah,
believe.
All right, cool. Speaking
also-
of which,
Oh,
Amazon
Uncle
Prime.
Sue's here. Hey,
Yeah.
Suzanne.
Hey, Sue.
Hey, Sue.
and okay, James, good to see you
Oh,
too.
yeah.
All right.
So,
Yeah, we got. James said he loves the podcast.
Yeah,
so-
he's one of our biggest fans, man. He watches
Sweet.
the game streams, the Mysteriousness, and the podcast.
Oh, that's
These are
awesome.
kind of
stuff.
people.
Yeah.
So yeah, important stuff for our first science story. This smart toilet can read your anus like a fingerprint, say scientists.
Nice.
Okay.
Let me throw this over to Hugh so he can take a look and we can.
I
zoom
feel
in
like
on it.
this smart toilet's trying to give me some competition here.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like you come from a long line of anus readers in your family. Right?
Yeah. We dabbled in the occult a little bit. We called it brown nosing.
I think it's a roundabout way of saying you talk a lot of shit.
I talk shit, and then but the idea that the gay community's now gonna have this sort of competition.
I feel like Hugh had that brown nosing line saved up
No,
for about a week.
nope,
to
that
It was
was
on deck.
nope. It was right at the door, knocking
It
on
was
the door.
Turtle head.
Yeah, it was poking out.
If you're looking for a very, very personalized data about your bathroom habits, look no further. Scientists at Stanford University have developed a smart toilet that can identify people based on their butt and monitor the health of their poop and pee. The smart toilet, which the Stanford team published an article about this week in Nature Biomedical Engineering, was designed as a continuous health monitoring device, much like a smartwatch. It uses cameras and motion sensors to identify a range of disease markers in stool and urine, including colon cancer and prostate cancer.
Hold up, prostate cancer?
It's going to give you a little poke, too.
What the? Because for them to know if you have prostate cancer, I can't imagine that it can tell through your pee or poop.
Oh, it's the.
Well, no, it's analyzing your data, and then it's comparing.
My duty data?
It's saving up all your data every day, and it's looking for trends, right?
Okay.
And then it's also compiling data from other users. So it's like, say, one of the users gets diagnosed with prostate cancer, and he's been having the same shits as you for the past 6 months. They're going to give you a little warning, maybe.
Oh, okay. Does it like vibrate to tell you, hey, this shit's not right. Something's off here.
You can have shit buddies.
Yeah.
And find out who your shit match is.
Like a pen pal, but for toilets.
It's like Pokemon Go, but like with poop.
Yeah.
When I bring it up, people would sort of laugh because it seemed like an interesting idea, but also a bit odd. Lead researcher Sanjeev Gambhir
You think, Lee?
said it in a press
You
release.
think, Lee?
Just a bit odd.
Everyone uses the bathroom. There's no really avoiding it, and that enhances its value as a disease-detecting device. It also has a built-in identification system. The smart toilet's flush lever is equipped a fingerprint reader, and cameras in the toilet bowl can identify people's butts.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So it can see it can tell what your asshole
No,
looks
I
like.
know where the real money is in this now. I know what they're doing here.
It's a smart toilet on OnlyFans.
Yeah, smart toilet OnlyFans. You know, it's funny. I would have loved this idea as a kid because for some reason, I got it into my head that like no one knows what it looks like when you shit, and I was super curious about it. Like I kept.
Well,
telling
apparently you and Lee share the same sentiment.
I was really curious, so like I'd want to hack into that thing just to find out.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's gonna get hacked, and then your butthole,
All over the
identifiers are gonna be all over the internet.
Yep.
Yeah, where's my plausible deniability if you got like a little birthmark or something down there?
Exactly.
It's like, did you guys see John shit this morning? It's disgusting.
That's
I
when.
think that would be a horrible thing to see, like shit coming out of your own. Like, if you like nobody's seen, you've never seen that before.
It's like, what do you
Speak
think?
for yourself,
you think?
Brad.
Yeah.
I shit on a mirror at least once a month.
What do you think? It's like a Ring doorbell. You're just sitting there, and you pull it up on your
could
phone.
be.
Oh man!
no.
All right, so this is I honestly, in all seriousness, I think any step we could make towards like identifying disease early is probably a good thing.
Well,
Like it's weird, but not a
It
big
might be
deal.
useful.
Everybody's got a butthole.
But like particularly now, it's funny. I was actually talking to my friend who works at the county. They're currently testing for COVID in untreated sewage water in Pinellas County here.
What, just to see how
Just
much is in there?
In the general population, like how watered down the COVID is in there.
There's probably a lot of other things coming up in that nasty
Oh,
ass water,
so-
Pinellas
but
County.
what
Pinellas
if-
County, yeah.
But what if they were able to do that with these smart toilets? Instead of like getting shit shoved up your nose, you could just
You just have a
take
real
shit.
bad. You have a real bad morning, and it's like, Lauren, go to the hospital.
Yeah.
It's like your Apple Watch tells you to get up and move around. This one tells you your shit's stinking differently today.
Ugh.
All right, moving on. The Arctic Ocean has chlamydia.
What the fuck?
Speaking of
Wow.
dirty water,
I feel weird about you calling me the Arctic Ocean, but fine. No, I'm joking.
yeah, stop swimming in the Arctic Ocean, Lauren.
Let's see. I bet you never considered before that the Arctic Ocean has chlamydia.
No, not
Because
one.
oceans are not out there rubbing their genitals together, but
Is that how you get
in a
it?
year that continues to sling out outlandish horror after outlandish horror straight at our faces, perpetually one-upping itself in a race to the bottom, truly anything is possible, including a large body of salt water testing positive for several new chlamydia-related species.
Wait,
New.
new?
Whoa,
New.
fuck.
I didn't know that there was more than one.
The STDs are mutating.
Apparently
We're
there's
fucked.
a lot. So
If the Arctic Ocean has chlamydia, then Lake Okeechobee has fucking full-blown AIDS. I'm just gonna, or Tampa Bay is
Yes.
HIV
I mean,
positive.
if you look at the map and you see Lake Okeechobee, it does look like it's an STD scar just on the dick of Florida.
I mean,
Right
yeah,
on the head of it, you know.
it makes a lot of sense.
It's got a hole in your dick.
So researchers are confused as to where the bacteria came from. Finding chlamydia in this environment
So am I.
was completely unexpected. The study's lead author, Jenna Daramashi, a PhD student at Uppsala University in Sweden, said in a news release announcing the findings.
That's what they always say.
So
So-
wait, that means someone had to say, you know what? While we're in here just poking and prodding around, let's just take a look and see. Is it
think they're
maybe
check-
it
they're
got a little
checking for everything.
chlamydia?
Wait a
This
minute.
the Arctic Ocean's getting a better
No.
workup from the doctor than I am, and I have good health insurance.
I know what happened here. I know what happened here.
You're
What
saying
happened?
someone-
This PhD student was worried about having chlamydia, didn't want to take the hit
Yeah.
of going to the doctor.
So she started doing tests on
Yeah.
random bodies of water,
yeah, she's just nuts.
matching with herself.
I mean, you know, if you fuck in an ocean and you got an STD, that ocean got that
Oh
STD.
no!
What if
Oh,
it's
no.
just fish chlamydia and we're all worried about something we can't catch?
Oh, you can fuck a fish. You can totally fuck a fish.
I mean, I'm familiar with the concept,
If you
but
catch anything, I
I
guess
don't know
you
if
can.
you
I mean,
should,
did I-
but you
should
could.
you?
Did I do it once? Yes. Do I regret it? No. Would I do
Yes.
it again?
I
Probably.
did actually see that there is a dick fish out. Like
dick
there's
fish?
this
Okay.
not out. I wanted to say out now, like it just happened, but yeah, no, I saw a picture the other day, and it is a dick-shaped fish just swimming around.
Oh well.
Good for him.
Just yeah,
Big
so
dick energy.
That's why.
Uh,
there's
well,
a
whose
fish in there.
snapper
Fish
has
dick
that
energy.
dick been in? Because apparently he's spreading shit.
Yep.
So the title of this next article is "I Have Exploding Head Syndrome."
Yeah, this
Mm.
sounds crazy. And John, you said you've dealt with this before, right?
I have a bit of exploding head syndrome. Yeah, I'm gonna get a little relaxed here. talk about this.
Sometimes, okay, after 5 or 10 minutes of stimulation, the head
Maybe
tends
then.
to explode. But I don't think that's the same thing we're talking about.
No,
right?
it's a strange, unpleasant, and surprisingly common. Helen Thompson talks to a man whose head regularly explodes and discovers how the condition might explain some unexpected experiences, perhaps even alien abductions.
Oh fuck.
So that's how this. No, this would mean if this is this could explain away, like maybe you didn't really get abducted by aliens at one time that you're suppressing that memory from.
You just heard a loud noise in your
yeah.
head, which
Yeah.
we'll read more, but so far that seems far-fetched.
So there's this sudden crescendo of noise, then a profound and jarring explosion of sound, electrical fizzing, and a bright flash in my vision, like someone has lit a spotlight in front of my face.
That literally could also be summed up to after taking your first hit of DMT. I'm
Yeah.
just going to say.
Yeah.
There's a lot of similarities there.
Okay.
That's how Niels Nelson, man, is it Niles Nelson? I think it's Niles Nelson, describes what it's like to live with exploding head syndrome, an unpleasant and sometimes terrifying sensation. Others describe it as like a bomb going off next to their head as they fall asleep. Sometimes it occurs just once in a lifetime. For others, it happens multiple times a night. The physician Silas Weir Mitchell first described the disorder in 1876 when he described two men who had suffered from what he called sensory discharges.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
The men
not
themselves
again.
described it as hearing loud bells or a gunshot that would wake them up from sleep. But despite its provocative and intriguing name, there has been relatively little research into the disorder. There's now a theory, however, that the condition and related sleep disturbances may explain apparently unrelated cultural phenomenon, specifically the origins of alien abductions, government conspiracy theories, and supernatural demons.
I've actually had the ones where it wakes you up in the middle of the night with a loud noise.
Yeah, it's just like a big
A
boom.
bang.
Like
Yeah.
okay, so is it like very close, like a close sounding boom, or is it like a muffled, far away, like
It
firecracker?
can be either one.
Because I've heard, like, I'll be up at like 3 in the morning, just like getting up to go to the bathroom, and I'll hear something, and I think it's just like a firecracker or something. So I don't know
It's
if
definitely
that's
like
a,
substantial in your head.
but it's very muffled. But it sounds like it's not happening internally.
It can
weird.
sound like it's happening internally too, but
Okay.
it just depends on. I think it just depends on your awareness at the time. So a lot of time for me, it'll sound like a air horn.
Oh,
mixed with,
really?
like static, something like really loud. It happens to me every time I take hallucinogens. For sure,
okay.
every time. Sometimes when I'm meditating, I'll get it, and it'll like shock me out of the meditative state. Almost.
Really?
Do you think that might have something to do with like because you've served in the armed forces before? You're a Marine,
Right.
and like you've seen combat. Do you think maybe it's like something to do with that? Like you're like reliving explosions or something?
No, it doesn't really seem like that.
Okay.
You know, and it doesn't usually have anything to do with your ears.
Do
or
you
anything
suffer
like that.
from like sleep paralysis ever? Because
Oh,
I've gotten that a lot.
I used
Yeah,
to get that a lot.
sometimes I do. I have in the past, but I do have like a lot of different weird sleep things going on. So sometimes it'll just wake me up in the middle of the night. It'll sound like a train is right outside the window or air horns going off. Or
That's
something.
got to be
That's
terrifying to be
freaky.
like in a slumber, perfectly sound asleep, and all of a sudden it's just like like
Yeah, that
loud
shit
noise.
sucks.
Yeah, and then you lay there. You have to lay there for a minute. And you're like, that wasn't real. I don't think.
So I'm wondering what the difference between this and like an actual like auditory hallucination in reference to like schizophrenia would be.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
They might
this
be
is-
related.
They might be related. It might come from like maybe the same part of the brain or something.
Maybe
But
it's
this
just
is-
more active in your brain at
Yeah, this
night.
is never like described as like a voice or anything like that. It's always described as like a very just like charged sound.
Right.
You know? So.
Leah Faith says, "Is this related to sky sounds?"
Oh
something you guys
yeah,
talked
those
about.
I've heard about those. The skyquakes.
Oh no, yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure the sky sounds are actual because people
Yeah.
record it
Yeah,
on like
those
videos
are
and
things
stuff.
you can
I've
actually
heard
catch.
sky sounds before
Yeah.
with other people next to me who
I was-
also heard it.
Yeah, I was walking in a park one time with a girl, and like we heard like a loud explosion. It was like, "Holy fuck!" And then we like looked into it, and nothing.
Yeah,
It was
that's
weird.
yeah, that's a different thing. It's not sky sounds is like something that like everybody definitely hears.
Right. So yeah, I think these
That's
are
some
just
secret
in
government
relation
shit.
to you yourself, and like it says, it's typically when you're asleep. I believe.
Yeah,
one of what you said.
it's happened to me so many times now that I most of the time identify what it is right away.
So like it's gonna happen one night, and the bomb is gonna go off, and John's just gonna brush it off, like it's just my
Good
brain.
night.
Just my brain.
And meanwhile, the house is on fire, fucking hole in the wall and everything.
It's like that scene from.
It's like the
Terminator
house
2.
isn't on fire. It's just your PTSD.
And then you get PTSD from the fact that you open the door and then there's a
Right.
hole in the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would suck.
Why did I agree to come on here, man? I'm having nightmares.
You're gonna
for
you're
like 4
freaking
days.
out already? All right.
Yeah, dude. But it's fun though, cause I like nightmares. Once they're over, like within them, I feel like, oh shit, I'm dying. I wake up, I was like, oh, that was really cool.
We'll do something happy for you to kind
Oh,
Ooh, whoa. Okay.
of. Well, no, not like that.
Not
But-
me.
Oh, well,
We'll buy
then
you a
no.
smart
Speak for
toilet.
yourself.
Actually, you can do it. Yeah, give him some exploding head.
FBI investigating report of guy in. Oh yeah, this is our UFO segment, by the way.
Ugh, yeah, but I like this one because it's not like an alien. It's just a dude,
Yeah,
or
this
maybe
looks fun.
it could be an alien. We don't know.
An alien.
I have a theory about this, but let's read it first.
FBI investigating report of guy in jetpack flying 3,000 feet in air at LAX.
That's awesome.
So the FBI is investigating a report from airline pilots that a person was seen flying in a jetpack some 3,000 feet above LA International Airport Sunday evening. So this just happened.
Yeah.
The FAA said that 2 airline flight crews reported seeing what appeared to be someone in a jetpack as they were on their final approaches to LAX around 6:35 p.m. on Sunday. Fox 11 LA obtained recordings of communications between the aircraft and the tower. Tower, American 1997. We just passed a guy in a jetpack.
Can you imagine being on the other line or
And
on
they'd
the
be
other
like-
side of that
and they'd be like,
radio?
what you did? What? We
That
passed a
almost
guy.
sounds worse than just admitting that you saw a UFO. It's like there's just
Yeah.
some dude hovering up here at 3,000 feet, by the way.
Well, but that my brain I can accept that. I was like, somebody invented a jetpack. I know humans are real and technology is real. I'd like to see a flying saucer or some shit like that, and a little alien plug on like blah, 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 blah. That I
Is
can't
that
deal
how
with
they do
that.
it? Is that how
I
they go?
don't know how they sound. I don't want to find out. They never talk.
Let's see. Oh, the tower responded with American 1997. Okay, thank you. They were off to your left side or your right side, the controller asked. Off to the left side, maybe 300 yards or so at our altitude.
That's close.
That's way too close.
That's actually considered a near miss collision
Oh, really?
in aviation. I believe if it's less than like a quarter of a mile away, that's still considered like a near
Well,
miss.
but
I
even if it's a
believe.
guy with a
Yeah,
jetpack.
if it's a human, I don't think it's. If it was a plane that close, maybe. But like,
Yeah, but the fact that he could recognize it, 600 feet or 900 feet,
yeah. Well, I thought it was
That's
300.
not
I
far.
thought it
or it
was
says
300
300 yards,
yards,
so
yeah.
about 1,000 feet.
Oh, look at you knowing fucking conversions.
Listen, I was good at math in school.
Yeah, good for you. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Another pilot also reported a sighting. We just saw the guy pass by us in the jetpack. He said, "We just saw the guy pass by us in a jetpack."
We are living. The future is here, guys. This
we
is the
made it.
Jetsons. We're here. It's happening.
Person in a jetpack reported 300 yards south of
Again?
the LA final at about 3,000 feet. 10-mile final, the controller said.
That's the same
So
spot.
okay, I would assume if you're in a jetpack, you're propelling in one
somewhere.
direction. So how is he just like floating around out there? Is he just living his best? And they only
It's like
last
that
for so
scene-
long.
It's like the scene in The Mandalorian where he's like flying alongside the Mandalorian. The
Oh
jetpack.
yeah.
Well, so my theory is that he's not being propelled; that he's just stuck up there like that, and this is proof of the Matrix.
He's stuck. Oh, it's like a glitch
It's
in the
a glitch.
Matrix.
It's like when you're playing a video game and like there's a character just
Or you fall
hovering.
through the level.
Yeah, you
Oh,
fall through the
yeah.
level, or they're just hovering up somewhere. That's what's happening
Okay.
here. He wasn't
So-
even wearing a jetpack. He just wearing a backpack. You're just stuck up there.
This is my theory, and I've said this once, and I'll say it 1,000 times. I would much rather be shot out of a cannon than ever fly on Spirit Airlines. Okay? And my thought on this topic is they're starting a new pilot program at Spirit. And basically, you get a jetpack. They push a couple buttons on the backpack, and then they send you on your way.
No luggage.
You don't tell them where you're going. They tell you where you're going, and that's the premise.
You just hope it's close to where you want to be.
Yeah, and you don't run out of gas because that's pretty much equivalent to flying on Spirit already. The only difference is like you're not in like the ghetto bus of the sky with 100 other people, right?
What if it's just a really fucking impressive drone that just has like a dummy attached to it, so it looks like a guy flying?
It's just an android.
Or someone just like
it's a drone. Somebody controlling a drone.
No, okay. This is there's somebody's last wish. Like, yo, hook me up to a drone.
Oh, they're dead.
Fly my corpse over LAX.
Is this like the new Dr. Kevorkian?
Yeah.
Like, instead of getting hooked up to the machine to die, it's like, all right, here's your jetpack. You got 5 minutes.
Yep.
Do what you want.
Enjoy.
You land where you land, dude.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
We should start that company.
I think it'd be a great company.
What's that movie? Final Descent or Last Descent?
Final Destination?
No, it's like Last Descent or Final Descent. It's about a
know.
plane crash. I don't know.
think I've seen
Oh, Alive. When they ate the butt meat.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not it, but I do.
It looked like that butt meat looked good.
I'm not. It looked like some good ass jerky. Not even. Joking.
I'm not going to lie. If we crash in a plane and there's only 10 of us, I'm eating one of you fucking bitches because there's not a lot.
Why are you looking at me? Why? Because I can supply the most? Fuck y'all.
Because I feel like you have the most flavorful meat in the room, Brad.
I mean, you know, I do use seasoning.
Well seasoned.
I bet it tastes like Laurie's right when I bite into it.
I'm salty. I'm pretty salty.
Alright.
I got high blood pressure. Salt.
Moving on. Inside the 1969 Berkshire UFO incident that shook up a small Massachusetts town.
Ooh, they
Well,
shook.
several Massachusetts towns, actually.
Yeah, and we kind of brushed upon this topic.
Oh, yeah, when we were talking about the new mysterious...
Unsolved
Unsolved
Mysteries.
Mysteries, yes.
Yeah. So they did a whole segment on the new season of Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix.
Was that the one that was in French?
No.
No.
This
Okay.
was about alien activity that like took over this town back in 1969.
can't
Was it
watch it.
69?
Yep, 1969.
But you don't ever see aliens, or they don't ever show like anything
It's
scary.
not, I don't need to see it. It's just the talking about it in the sense that it could
The
actually
music.
be real.
Oh.
That
Yeah.
scares me.
That music was terrible. That was traumatizing
How's
as
it
a
go,
child.
John? Oh.
Like I remember waking up at like 2 in the morning for whatever reason. I was watching the fucking Lifestyle channel.
Yeah.
Me being the gay kid that I was, I'd be waking up and I'd hear that music and like, all right, I made it through the intro,
Yeah.
so I'm good now. And now I'm up, so now I have to watch the rest of the show.
Well, then
That and Emergency
Then
911.
yeah, but then you see that guy's face. The guy who's the host, you see his face, and you're like, ugh!
I know.
And his
and
voice was like very menacing.
he was
like,
so convincing.
Yeah.
Like I remember thinking, like, damn. I wonder if I have information that could lead to this arrest of this situation.
After every
Like I was
episode,
convinced.
I'm
Rescue
certain
911
I can solve
was
this.
Captain Kirk, right?
I don't know, but the
Yeah, it
intro
was
to
Rescue
that was
911.
one
scary
wasn't-
too.
That was scary, but because it was like
Wasn't as bad.
Yeah,
No.
because it was a solved mystery. It's like, oh, that guy broke his arm and he's bleeding. Call 911.
Yeah, but the fact that you know what happened and like you know like the pain that the person was going through, like whatever it was, that bothers me.
I just think it's messed up that they played reruns of that show in the United Kingdom.
What, the Rescue
Rescue
911?
Yeah, because they didn't have 911 over there. They
What
have
is it?
999.
Yeah, it's 999,
So it
right?
just messed everybody up.
Oh shit.
Like no wonder Granny died. No one fucking came.
Everybody was watching Rescue 911. They're like, this won't work.
They dub in every time they say 911. It's
Yeah,
999. However they say it
Yeah.
in British accent.
All right, so let's get into this UFO abduction.
Yeah.
On
I don't want
September
to.
1st, 1969, about 40 people in Berkshire County, Massachusetts, reported seeing a UFO, and one boy named Thomas Reed claimed that he and his family were all taken on board.
Yes.
Scary.
So right now it was this was kind of like the hot time for UFOs. The Roswell incident had just happened. That was like published in like pretty much every newspaper in America.
Yeah.
Right. When was that? 1950.
1950 something.
I thought it was
50
62.
something. It was like right between like I think it was the 50s. 54.
I think
You
so.
guys are probably right.
One of you guys can look it up, but I think it's somewhere in the 50s.
Look it up.
The extra, let's see. So we already went over that it was an episode. On the evening of September 1st, 1969, strange lights descended on the town of Sheffield, located in the southern Berkshires. Many who saw these lights said that they were attached to a UFO. According to witness accounts, the UFO in question was a disc-shaped craft that performed acrobatic maneuvers in the sky above the Berkshires. It's unclear exactly how long the phenomenon lasted, but many witnesses of the alleged UFO encounters described losing track of time. So that's a common thing that happens like during UFO sightings. It's like you look at it for like a minute, and then you look back down at your clock, and you're like, 90 minutes have passed.
That happened to me the other day, and I freaked out for a second, but then I realized the girls hanging out, we were doing mushrooms, so it was like, that's where time went. Yeah, I was like, that was a sigh of relief.
Roswell was in July of 1947. So
we were all wrong.
Yeah, we're all wrong.
Ding.
So the Berkshires is a region of rural highlands in western Massachusetts. It encompasses large swaths of wilderness, making it a popular tourist destination for hikers and nature lovers during the summer. The Berkshires are also made up of mostly small towns, which in the case of curious extraterrestrial beings makes it an ideal spot to visit.
Okay, so to piggyback on my concept last week with Earth, aliens found out that Chico's was closing. So they wanted to get in on that hot sale. Chico's M Pier 1. Now it's a couple of lesbians flying in, aliens, couple leaf peepers from the Andromeda Galaxy, and they're just trying to come and waste a little time in the Catskills or wherever, the Berkshires.
Was this in the fall?
Yeah.
You know what my
this
theory
is in
is?
September. They're here.
It was on Labor Day, ironically, Synchronicity. So yeah, I think that's what it is. We got a couple of bull dykes. They're maybe looking to buy a piece of property in the mountains somewhere, and they just wanted to, hang.
I think my theory for aliens is I don't think they're like another species. I think it's actually like us from the future, and those are like their space/time travel suits. And there was something that fucked up humanity, and humanity is on the brink of dying.
And we don't have
coming
pants
back in
anymore.
time. They're well, no, that's their spacesuits.
Oh.
And they come back in time. They're trying to figure out what happened so they can prevent it. That's just a theory I have.
I mean, that I've heard people say
I've heard that before, yeah.
But I'm
like
really pretty sure that's space dykes.
They're like, we finally figured out what happened. Check this out. It's a rerun of The Apprentice.
Deborah and Barb decided to visit Earth and fuck shit up real bad. They brought COVID with them and everything.
So this seemingly brief UFO encounter was apparently powerful enough to leave a lingering sense of mass confusion in its wake. School children were drawing UFOs in class while adults called into the local radio station to explain what they had seen. We had listeners call the radio station that evening, said David Icey, general manager of the local radio station WSBS. At the time, they didn't know it was a UFO. They just, called the station to say something bizarre has happened.
That is the most fucking white nonsense bullshit in the world. It's like, we don't talk about the bad things. So what could they possibly have been calling to say, oh, there was something bizarre?
Yeah.
But, like, it was just, did your uncle touch you again? Like, what's going on here? What's the situation?
Well, it was just bizarre.
I don't understand that. Like, that's like, suppressing information and...
Yeah.
But,
It was later estimated about 40 people reported seeing the UFO. Some of them were children at the time, and they still live in the area today.
Oh, man. That reminds me
Go ahead and
of
take this
my
next part
cousin.
here.
Children coming into school were talking about the event, said Robert Kroll, the director of the Great Barrington Historical Society in 2018, an old student of mine. One is a local shop owner whose father was the police chief in town. So these people are reliable people. ACAB.
I don't know if I consider anyone from Massachusetts to be reliable.
Yeah, in general. Just as a blanket statement.
I'm just being mean.
Yeah,
Sorry.
these are
I
quote-unquote not self-promoters. The witness accounts were so plentiful and compelling that the local Great Barrington Historical Society recognized the encounter as the first off-world UFO case in history about 45 years later. It was
Took them a while.
a little late.
Yeah.
It's what's the 45th anniversary year
No,
gift you're supposed to get? Silver?
Yeah.
Roswell was, everybody knows, it was a weather balloon, so.
Or a shitty wish from a Karen.
Yes.
I think that should be our scale, like on whether or not UFO, like if a story that we're talking about is real, it's like on a scale of 1 to Karen making a wish with a Chinese lantern. So anyways, while many have admitted to seeing the UFO vessel or its strange lights, the most prominent eyewitness is by far Thomas Reed. And according to Reed's account, he saw the UFO when he was 9 years old on September 1st, 1969, while he was in the car with his mother, grandmother, and brother. I didn't know his brother was in there because they didn't specify that in the show. As Reed recalled, the family was heading home from the restaurant Village on the Green, and he was busy giving his little brother a fireball candy. Well, see, that's fucked up, right? Don't do
Yeah,
that to your
it's
little
hilarious.
brother. Suddenly, they noticed a mass of glowing lights peeking out from behind the lush trees on the empty road. I can't see. The strange lights continued to spill out from behind the trees as the family crossed the covered Sheffield Bridge. But they didn't know what to make of the sight. We all looked at it because it was kind of like a self-contained glow, Reed said. It rose up a little bit. It looked like it followed the dirt road, which I'm sure it probably didn't. But it appeared that way because we could see it through the trees. The light started to bleed through once we broke into a little bit of the clearing. We could see inside of the car, so the light was flooding inside of the vehicle. Another synchronicity, Sheffield Bridge. Fran Drescher was abducted by aliens. She was Mr. Sheffield's nanny. We're connecting the dots. We're connecting the dots.
It always comes back to Fran.
God damn it.
He was getting down that rabbit hole.
Listen, I dug the rabbit hole myself, and I'm trying to pull you bitches down there with me, all right?
I don't want to go.
It's the
Brad,
Fran
you're coming.
universe.
So after an amber glow emerged from both sides of the road, Reed recalled being taken to a hangar-like area that was bigger than a football field. We encountered something, Reed said. It was definitely not of this world. We had a black and white television at the time, and the imagery that we saw on this thing was unbelievable. There was lights that looked like fluorescent tubing inside of a hangar. This hallway that we had seen was circular with a Y configuration, almost to control the flow of traffic. This one room had a bowed-in wall that was rounded. This was not like something that you would have seen in 1969 anywhere else. I have no idea where I was, but I know what I saw was very different than anything I'd ever seen 50 years later.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because, that's a crazy thing to have, like, a vivid memory of like, being inside, like, a hangar the size of a football stadium.
Yeah, you're in the woods in Massachusetts going into a covered bridge, and you end up in a warehouse.
It's too specific, like especially for a little kid to make up that hasn't experienced anything like that before. Like the details are too clear for it to be just like some imagination. Like, but there's too many. First of all, there's too many people that have similar stories, and then if it's all children, you would think they would make up vastly different.
Yeah,
things.
because kids' imaginations are so crazy.
Yeah.
But John and I were actually thinking about something interesting too, because if you look at the date when this happened, which was 1969, and it was in Massachusetts, which is close to whatchamacallit, what college is it? Where they were doing MK Ultra studies.
Oh yeah, it was not Harvard.
Not Harvard. I was gonna say Cambridge or Harvard. They were doing MK Ultra studies, which is basically they were trying to figure out ways to see if they could control people's minds through the use of psychedelics.
Yeah.
Which also you were just talking about, if every time you take, or not every time, but you tend to have the exploding head syndrome when you take psychedelics. So I'm wondering, or we had talked about the idea
they just
that
did like a quick crop dust to LSD over all the whole county.
Nadine and Barb just swathed the whole entire mountainous region with LSD, and now everybody there had a similar experience. And I'm wondering if it could have just been like a mass government like experiment to see how people would react to something like that.
I think so too, because it's a small, like town. Everything's kind of confined, and really, like one of the things that like all of the stories are the same on are the big blinding lights.
Right.
How easy would it be just to shine some big ass floodlights at some people who are high as fuck and freak them out? Pretty fucking easy.
Leaface in the chat says, I have a vivid memory of waking up in the middle of the night, walking out to the porch on the second floor and seeing a blinding white light and a gray alien-type figure standing in the doorway of the porch. Can't remember anything after that.
Jesus. That is terrifying.
That is super terrifying.
Well, Leah, I hope
that never happens again.
Yeah.
Glimpses. So back to the story here. Glimpses of this strange place muddied his brain until he realized they were back inside the car. His grandmother and mother had switched seats. So I
actually laughed at that.
The interesting part. I think that's the most interesting part.
Yeah. Whoever took them did not put them back the way they found them.
Yeah. Because they can't tell the difference between them. They're like, these two meatbags with the long dark hair is exactly the same. I can't tell the difference.
Or it's stupid government employees fucking up their job.
Yeah.
Like not taking the right notes.
I remember on the show he said that like there's no way his grandmother would ever be in that seat because she didn't drive.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. I'm wondering if Granny was just tripping balls.
Yeah.
And then she got behind the wheel of the car like, let's drive.
I remember.
I remember.
Everything got really calm. It was like being in the middle of a hurricane.
Wait. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
There's nothing calm about being in the middle of
in the
a
middle
eye
of
of a hurricane.
in the eye of a hurricane.
Yeah,
All right.
literal middle.
All right. Syntax.
There was a barometric change in pressure. It was like a dead silence, and then there was an eruption of crickets and frogs, and it got really loud, and that was it, Reed said, adding that it was all quite confusing.
To say the fucking least. Jesus.
Reed has been the most vocal witness to the 1969 Berkshire UFO. He helped convince other witnesses to pool money together to erect a 5,000-pound concrete monument, which is built by the covered Sheffield Bridge, where he saw the UFO with his family.
Why?
Fencing and lighting decorations were also placed around the monument after it was erected.
That is the stupid.
What a
I'm sorry
waste.
for what he went through, and maybe that made him.
Is
a
that
little
the
dumb.
monument?
That's
Yeah,
just
that's
a covered bridge.
No, to the right there in the picture. Right
Yeah.
on the right.
I don't
I'm
think
sorry,
it's
what were you
Synchronicity.
saying, Lauren?
But just like, what is the point to build a monument for a UFO abduction? I mean, really, like monuments are like kind of pointless. To
Well, they
begin with.
built like a
Look at the-
Mothman monument.
The Egyptians built the pyramids.
But Mothman is.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something. You know what it is? There wasn't just one Mothman incident. It's such like a prevalent story. It's like happening.
Well, yeah, but this had like 40 people seeing the UFO on the same night.
Fine.
I feel like they should have just buried the old lady there and put her grave there, and that would have been good enough.
Called it a day.
Oh.
But like, no, they raised $5,000. Like, I wish they would just do so. Oh, I'm finally seeing the monument. Oh, it's ugly too.
Yeah.
It's just
It's
a,
better
it's
than
just a
some.
square. It's just a square. Like, okay,
At least make it cool. They could have
See,
done like a
all
UFO
right.
shape.
It's really
or,
heavy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The
That's its claim to fame. It's 5,000 pounds.
The
Yeah.
Mothman monument looks cool as fuck. If they did like a fucking alien, then yes,
That would've been
absolutely,
cooler.
that would have
Okay.
been cool.
I think we can all kind of agree that like if a harsh murder or something takes place, that there's a chance of like a spirit being attached to that and it's gonna haunt like a certain area or something. So
Uh-huh.
what happens if like aliens abduct somebody and they actually fucking murder them? Like, do they go haunt the aliens?
You better fucking believe I am.
I
bitch.
know I'm gonna fuck those aliens up, bro.
You listen, ET.
These are the
Elliot's
real
coming back for
questions.
some vengeance, bitch.
The rest of the story is just talking about the legal controversy surrounding the monument that's been
Oh.
removed.
And how
they
ugly the monument
petitioned to
is.
put it
And
I feel
back
they
and-
need the aliens need to come and abduct that monument because it's a sight.
Yeah. Oh, what the fuck is that?
Waste of
Moving on to
$5,000.
cryptozoology, we're going to talk about the Alabama White Thang. Because I guess Hugh thought it was funny that
Yeah.
the monster in Alabama is white.
Not only is he white, but he's also a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
He hates Antifa, and he also is a proponent for ICE. So I'm just saying that information's not on here, but I'm just
You can kind of infer.
statistically speaking.
Yeah.
I feel like he always has a gun on him. That's why they call him white things. Like, I keep that white thing on me.
Yeah.
It stands on two legs, runs on all fours. It even has its own Facebook page with over 2,000 members.
So QAnon.
Oh, we found
Yeah,
it.
what is that? Is that a kangaroo cat?
Yeah, this is one of the
That's one of the white
drawings
things.
of the white thing.
Drawings.
The drawings.
I mean, if we're gonna say thing, we might say drawings. So.
Yeah.
There have been sightings of this creature for over 100 years. Descriptions of the being vary as much as the explanations. The triangle of Morgan, Etowah, and Jefferson counties are the hotbed for the reported encounters. Almost all of the reports state that it is 7 to 8 foot tall, covered in white hair, and its screams sound like a woman.
That could literally be any scenario transpiring in Alabama at any time.
So I just gotta
It's like
point
literally
out.
anybody that goes. That's anybody on the basketball team at Auburn.
Claude has, his wife was acting up and she needed a little disciplining.
Yeah.
So she's screaming.
Yeah, no, I just feel like that. Like, I feel like they're saying it as an insult to the things. Like, yeah, it screams like a woman. Like, you know what I mean?
Are they cryptid shaming?
Yeah, that feels like an insult.
Maybe, okay, can we maybe, if this is 2020, it's possible it could just be a fucking woman.
Ooh, you know what?
White Thang is a woman.
I gotta wax my beard. Maybe she just never does it. Maybe she just never does it.
Some report a foul odor like dead animals when the white thing is around.
Still checks out for
Confirmed,
Alabama.
could be a
Some say
cousin
it looks
mine.
like a white lion. It's a tall white creature about 7 foot tall with a kangaroo-like body and a cat head.
The description is constantly
An
changing.
albino bear.
Oh my
A
god.
hairless, pale, skinny, nimble humanoid.
That could be me.
It's a dog. A large ghost-like creature that walks on all fours. An albino Sasquatch or Bigfoot or Yeti. It's an apparition or a ghost.
What?
And interdimensional being.
You know what? Why not?
An alien humanoid. Some report a red eye shine.
Wow.
Just had to throw that tidbit in
Why
there.
are we throwing the red eye shine in at the
I
end?
feel like these people are seeing lots of different stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just the only thing it didn't come with is a side of fries.
I don't know. The foul odor, like dead animals, that's usually reported like a foul odor, like a sulfur-like odor is like
With, like,
reported
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. You know, that's like if you're in the woods and you smell something like that, like it can't be fucking good.
No, you know what?
Yeah.
Honestly, though, I don't believe this one just because, like, I feel like somebody did hear about Bigfoot and then was like, you know what we need in Alabama? We need a Bigfoot. We need a scary monster out there. And so, like, he heard about the stink. He's like, well, we gotta describe it that way or it's not believable.
Yeah.
Gotta
Go
smell
get
it.
Stinky Randy.
Yeah.
It's always a Randy, right?
In the 1930s, most reports called it a monster that ran on all fours. It could climb trees and would wait for people to come along that it could leap on.
Huh.
In the 1940s, George Norris had an encounter.
Who the
Veneta-
fuck is George
I don't
Norris?
know.
George Norris is
Veneta
the
Martin
father of
Smith
Chuck
describes
Norris.
it.
Who is it?
The father of Chuck Norris. He fucked White Thing and Chuck Norris was born.
Aha.
Oh, see, White Thing is afraid of Chuck
So
It's
this
the
Norris.
is-
kangaroo
yeah.
legs.
This is someone else describing it. Old man George Norris seen it over there in Enon Graveyard, and he said it looked like a lion.
Hold on. I
You
feel
know.
like you need to add some affectation.
yeah, you need to do this.
If we're gonna do this, put some respect on them
All right,
words.
All right. Old man George Norris seen it over there in Enon Graveyard and said it looked like a lion. You know, bushy betwixt a dog and a lion.
I love the word
It was a white Twix. He want to use that.
It was white and slick with long hair. It had a slick tail down on the end of the tail, a big old bush of hair.
Sounds
He
like
leant
a
up
dick.
against a tree and fell asleep. When he woke up, the sun was just rising, and the White Thing was laying right beside him.
They
and it
definitely
was
fucked.
looking at him, and he didn't offer to hurt him or nothing.
See, I love
if
the
you see-
Southern hospitality comes along with cryptids in Alabama as well.
I feel like if you see a monster, don't just lay down and take a nap.
Yeah, no.
Maybe
No,
not.
no. In fact, he's probably really nice. He's gonna bring him a bunt cake. You
Yeah.
know, meet him at church on Sunday. He was a Christian. Obviously, he's Christian if we're in
Yeah.
Alabama.
Make him a quilt.
It's, part of the women's the women's league or
Yeah, exactly.
the women's auxiliary.
In later decades, it became described as walking upright and stood at least 7 feet tall. Most witnesses could not describe many details like what the face looked like or the hands or feet. But overall, witnesses did not seem to be frightened of the sight of the White Thing or of the things it did.
No, but if it was black, they would have been
Oh, they would be like,
in Alabama.
911.
Yeah,
There's a black. We're on our way.
999, bitch.
Yeah. There's a black thing. We're on our way. You said enough.
What bothered them the most was the scream. They especially disliked it when the creature would stand over them and scream into their face.
Wait, what are
it
you
touching
doing that you're
themselves?
allowing this thing to get in your personal aura?
Trying to fuck, probably.
You know what? I wouldn't doubt it.
I want to put
Alabama.
on a white wig and then just run around the woods in Alabama and
Screaming?
scream at people.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
The calls of the creature have been described as like a woman's or a baby crying, or a woman screaming, panther-like screams, and some talk of it barking in the woods at night.
Ooh, she's a cougaress.
Everyone's wife sounds different.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Every-
what that is.
Yeah.
Madison Howard's great-grandmother talked of seeing the creature. The furry white being would watch her from the woods as she would hang up her wet laundry to dry on the clothesline. She and many others of that time period spoke of the White Thing like you would speak of any animal you saw in the woods, like deer or raccoons, something common and expected. You want to take it here, Lauren?
Yeah. Older stories also talk about the White Thing as being around funeral wakes. It was expected to see it around. During that time. There's a story of an old woman who heard a commotion outside her house one summer night, figuring some animal was at her garden patch or perhaps disturbing her dogs. She grabbed her hoe and headed outdoors. Oh, her best friend was over. She was surprised to see her dogs cowering and whimpering on the porch. She headed to her garden, which was next to the house. There she found the White Thing helping itself to vegetables from the garden plot.
So it's fucking vegan as
Yeah.
well.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's the worst part about all of
That's why they don't like it.
it. Yeah.
Both she and the creature stared at each other. The creature dropped the vegetables and ran past her on all fours, heading for the woods.
The
So I
things
don't
you
know,
learn
this is-
about Alabama.
Yeah.
This is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's it seems to me like it's a multitude of different paranormal things that people are just like, it's the White Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know that white, and I love that if it is like a
white
Bigfoot,
thing. Coyote, white thing.
right? And having anything being albino is already like a rarity in nature. So like a white tiger or a white horse or not a horse, but like a giraffe or whatever. And then now you've got two mythological creatures that have created an offspring that's like a white being, and then of course it chose Alabama to settle down at. I find interesting.
Exotic Alabama.
Exotic Alabama. I want to remind you guys, give us a follow here on Twitch if you're if you're watching the stream right now and you have not clicked follow. Please give us a follow, and remember, if you subscribe or gift a subscription,
if you gift a subscription, I will give you a 1-card tarot reading.
Yeah, you get a tarot card reading. So
I will put on my turban, pull out my crystal ball sack, and hook you up.
All right. Nice. Before we take a break, we're going to talk about trucker scary stories.
Ooh.
Do a couple. We'll do a couple because we're already running kind of long in the front part, and I really want to get into this synchronicity.
Yeah, synchronicity is cool as shit.
So much to say.
It's gonna scare me.
So here's let's see, the hanging man. A trucker was driving home to see his family and took a shortcut through a desolate back road. He'd heard stories of ghostly tales regarding the back road, and at 3:40 in the morning, he met one himself. In a creepy area packed with old trees and shrubs, he saw a man hanging from a tree on the side of the road.
Was this in Alabama?
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah.
He stopped after passing the man and went back to look, but the man was gone.
Oh, he got down. That's good.
That's good. He's fine.
He's fine.
There's one time I was driving home, and close to my house, there's like there's not a lot of street lights, and there's like a lot of wooded areas. And I told you about it. It was when I was coming here for show. There was just a guy, and it was like lightly raining, standing on the side of the road, just like looking across the street.
You
Just
said
like
he
in
wasn't
the
like the
woods and
side of
shit.
the road, though. He was like in the middle of a field, kind of, you said.
Well, no, it's like there's nothing but like trees and forest there, and he was just standing there, like looking. And it's freaked me the fuck out.
Well, what really freaked me out when me and Lauren were on the way here, we saw an abnormally large specimen of a human being
It was the
walking
white
down a
thing.
sidewalk.
He was on vacation.
This
down
guy,
here.
he looked like he was at least 7.5 feet tall.
Yeah, he was.
my God.
He might have been a fucking giant. One of
Yeah.
them giants we were talking about last time.
That's crazy. Let's see.
I feel like truckers would be the ones to really witness, because they go on like a lot of those back
yeah.
roads and
And they're
mountain
in the
roads.
middle, up in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
on
and they're always
meth.
driving at night. Yeah, meth is a big contributing source to some of the things we're probably about to hear.
It helps you see shit, man. It opens your.
You know what? That's what we should do for the Halloween
Meth? Do meth?
mysteriousnesses. Let's all just like snort some meth, pull out the Ouija board, and see what the fuck happens.
I'm down for the Ouija board. We're
Actually-
definitely doing that.
I'm not smoking meth. I'm trying to be kind to my
Yeah, good-
lungs.
good for your
Just
lungs.
so your body's a temple.
Yeah, and a channel for spirits that like meth.
Ugh.
All right.
Brad, you coming?
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
At a
I'm
shady
down.
truck stop near Corpus Christi, Texas, a trucker was about to fall asleep when he heard a loud bang on the side of his cab that startled him awake. He woke up to find a big lizard creature with
I was
glowing
just
red
gonna
eyes.
say maybe it was a lot lizard.
Lizard creature. Lot
'Cause
lizard creature.
One of the she probably looked like a lizard too.
Oof, yeah. It's been out in the sun
It
all
said she
day.
had glowing red
Pretty rock.
eyes and sharp teeth looking back at him. It just stood there for a few minutes, staring at the horrified trucker before flying over the cab and taking off into the night.
Ooh.
Shit.
Again,
Fly.
could have been a lot lizard.
Could have been.
Let's see, the lycanthrope. A trucker was resting at an empty lot, waiting to pass off a load to another trucker at 3 a.m.
It's not the first time this has happened.
Yep.
When he closed his eyes to nap, a barking dog woke him. He tried to ignore it, but the barking carried on and grew closer and closer. He sat up and looked out of his window only to see a 35-year-old man, a big guy, barking at the trucker, his eyes crazy, frothing at the mouth. The trucker slowly pulled away, and the man chased him and continued to bark, just like a dog.
You
Oh
know,
my God.
People don't bark at each other enough.
Just do it more, yeah.
A bark is
feel
my
like
safe word.
I feel like bar fights would end, like they wouldn't even start if just one person just started barking. Like you're not
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
hit a guy.
Let's
that's
go get
barking.
belligerently drunk and
You
test this
bark at
theory out. I'm
people?
just gonna bark. Well, we were pretty much barking at people on Tuesday anyway, so
That's
yeah,
true.
we're not allowed to hang out ever again, Lauren.
All right.
I feel like some of these stories is like, they're little vignettes of like a overall theme of like trucker fan
Yeah.
fiction.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would read that. Trucker
Let's
fan.
see.
You would write
I
that.
would write that.
Here, let's do one more. I think this one's definitely mysterious. This one is called the Jumpsuit Bandit. A trucker.
Oh, is it the guy at 3,000 feet?
It could be the guy with the jetpack.
Yeah.
A trucker who did midnight runs was getting ready to park at a truck stop, also with no lights or other cars or trucks present, and he woke up the next morning parked on the side of the road with 3 highway patrol vehicles behind him. His truck had moved 15 miles from the truck stop where he'd parked, even though he'd been sleeping in the camper the whole time.
Oh my God.
The patrolmen said that they'd seen a man in a black jumpsuit run away from the truck in a nearby field, leaving them to believe it was a thief who stole it and moved it.
Oh shit.
But he was still in it?
He was
Oh,
in
yeah, he was
sleeping in the
van.
cab?
Yeah, well, there's
A bed. They have beds and shit in there.
Yeah, I know
like
that.
the truck. It's like a mini RV. They got like a little kitchen and a bed and
Right.
you know.
So he was asleep so soundly in his truck that
Yep.
someone got in it and drove 15 miles.
Drove
Yeah,
a
bro.
truck.
He does meth. We already
A guy
established that.
drove. A guy flew in with a jetpack, got him in the car, and drove it 15 miles, and then he escaped in the jetpack.
He ran into the woods, and then I saw him on the side.
And
of the road.
Brad-
It's like I just stole a truck, bro.
I'm telling you,
Synchronicity.
we
all
are
connected.
solving cases on this podcast.
It's all connected.
So I want to remind you guys, we do have another podcast that we'd like you to listen to. Check that out at somethingplanet.com.
In case you
or
can't
on
get enough
YouTube.
of these 3.
Yeah, check it out. Also, yeah, give us a subscribe on YouTube. That always helps us. The Something Planet YouTube channel is youtube.com/somethingplanet. And remember to follow Mysteriousnesses on TikTok and
We're
Twitch
not
and
on TikTok.
Twitter and all that, whatever. You know,
Wherever the
all
fuck.
stuff.
I
Get
will
on
say this: it is worth subscribing to Something Planet for their weekly show every Monday at 9:30. They go live because this past Monday, not only did I get to partake in seeing you guys eat those disgusting fucking jelly beans, but I was able to add a little something to my spank bank when John
Wow.
decided to come out here in his kimono.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
I did wear a kimono. Yeah.
You know what's funny? I feel like the kimono would be more appropriate for this kind of podcast.
I don't know.
Just
Yeah, we
get
had more
real
people-
Weird.
You know what would be more
we
appropriate?
had more people watching last night, and I think it was because of the kimono.
I do.
honestly.
I think it'd have been more appropriate if the homosexual in the room had actually owned a kimono, but I don't own one, and John happens to have one,
Oh,
and
I
it
got-
was
I got
it was
two.
draped very elegantly
It
upon that
was?
slender body.
I got 2. They're both silk.
The only thing that was missing was someone feeding him some grapes and fanning him. Although I think Lauren could do that without without question.
Oh no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Never that. Not
Some
for this
exotic
asshole.
fruits.
Oh, I'll throw fruits at him. That's
All right.
for sure.
Listeners on the live stream, we're going to take a quick break. It's not going to be very long. Listeners at home, you know it's just only going to be a few seconds. So,
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with Synchronicity.
Yeah, boy.
Welcome back. We are back from our little break. We had to get drinks. We had to use the potty.
I'm using it still.
But
Yep.
damn it.
No. It's a supernatural thing.
That's how you keep the ghosts away.
I left my genitals in there.
Yeah, we got
They're
another-
Is the camera back on us?
Yeah, we got the camera back on us.
I have such a delay on the Twitch app. So
I know the
it's-
Twitch app is very delayed.
Yeah.
I think it's that way for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for our new subscribers, including JTSM1080. Thanks
Yes,
for
thank
following us.
you. We appreciate that.
Let's see. 2 hours ago, we had Witchery88 follow us. so
Yes,
that's
thank
great.
you.
Yes.
And then earlier in the day, we had Blazing Beast 11 follow us. So
Ooh,
that's great.
Blazing Beast.
And shout out to all the people in the chat. RKGRAU, Growl, Not Corporal, Lurks. I like Lurks.
Lurks.
There's an air of mysteriousness
I think
about Lurks.
Lurks is one of your game stream viewers, I believe.
It might be.
I feel
think
like
so.
they need to add one more X though to really just.
Oh yeah, bring it back to 2007.
Yeah. Who's Commander Root? Bucks, some limb, and another TV viewer. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
And if you have any conspiracy theories that you'd like for us to discuss on this podcast, or any nonsense that you think would be worthy of us chatting about, tell us in the chat or send us an email or something.
Hit us up in our DMs. You know
Yeah,
what to do.
what's the email?
Send us a dick pic.
Woo.
Is it podcast Mysteriousnesses at gmail.com?
Mysteriousnesses podcast at gmail.com.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
Either or. Find us on social media.
DMs are good. The chat is better. Do it in the chat.
Yeah, do it in the chat.
Let's do
Little
it
chit-chat.
live.
Definitely.
Make it permanent.
Right now, in our feature segment, we're going to be talking about synchronicities. So let's, like, Hugh, you give us a little. Hugh did a whole report on this. So
Okay.
I'm
First
pretty
of
proud
all, I get a little over. I get a little crazy when it comes to research on things, and I'm trying to pull up my whole thing I did. Damn it.
I got it right here. I can Chromecast it to you.
I'm going to pull it up on my phone because I feel like I can read that better than having to stand that way. Okay, so basically we're going to be talking about synchronicity. And for those that don't know, synchronicity, we're going to talk about the mundane variant of it as far as like what does it mean on a non-spiritual level. And then
Basically
we're going to...
just means coincidence, right?
Yeah.
But a meaningful coincidence.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about the spiritual aspects of synchronicity, which and then some of the things that come along with it. So the mundane aspects of synchronicity are: it's a concept that was first introduced by psychologist Carl Jung, which holds the events. Jung, whatever. Every time I say it, I'm always corrected.
It's pronounced Jung, or it looks like Jung, but it's pronounced Young.
Right. But then I hear
Jungian
every time I
philosophy.
say Jung, people say, no, it's Jung.
Oh, well,
maybe
you
it
kn-
is Jung.
you
I don't know.
know.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Some fucking German psychiatrist that probably was into scat play holds...
Becca Oldham?
Yeah, it's shy as a video.
That's what the Red Book is all about, actually, is scat play.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay.
That's why it's so expensive.
It gives you the inner workings, how to connect with your shadow
Yeah,
self.
it took them like years and years to publish it because he was ashamed it was an entire book about scat play.
Really?
No, it's actually like his as Jung's occult writings are in the.
Oh,
Red
yeah,
Book.
yeah. Because he was okay. So like that kind of ties into this because basically, he had several definitions of the term synchronicity, and then some of them are meaningful coincidences, acausal parallelisms, a meaningful coincidence of two or more events where something other than the probability of chance is involved, and then just meaningful coincidence. And though he coined the term, Jung only gave a full statement on the topic in 1951 one time. And he would use this concept to argue the existence of the paranormal. And, you know, science today is basically calls synchronicities just mere coincidences. And though people may experience synchronicity often, it's how one person will react to it which determines their potential to fall into delusional thinking or schizophrenic behavior.
So this is can be a slippery slope.
It can, because as people, we are inherently and innately made to find patterns in things, right? Like it's a survival. It's part of our instinct to see things and to find distinguishable patterns.
It's kind of something that the human brain does if it doesn't have all of the information.
Right.
It'll just make some shit up.
Right,
know,
but if you don't have all of your your factory, what do they call it? Your
Olfactory.
olfactories working at the right time, you can fall into this idea. And one of the examples I gave here in the notes is the number 23, the movie with Jim Carrey.
I was
That's a
just gonna
great
bring that
example
up.
of
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
He obsesses over that number, and he looks and he's seeing it everywhere. And it's kind of like, if you want to find something, you tend to be able to find it in whatever it is you're looking
Yeah.
for,
It's
basically.
usually called like the brown car effect, where you never really see a brown car, but once you do, now you're aware of it and you're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, you buy a Nissan Sentra. You've
see
never
'em
noticed
everywhere.
it before, but now you see every single one that's on the road.
Exactly.
Right. So going into
Brought
this
to
a
you
little,
by Nissan Sentra.
not definitely not.
We're manifesting.
We're more of a
this.
Peugeot podcast.
I
Alfa
got a
Romeo.
I got a Daewoo.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's us. That's us for sure.
Yeah. Actually, it's one of those little Tykes red cars with the yellow roofs.
That would be us.
Yeah,
definitely.
that's more like it. Not even a Power Wheel. Not even
Nope,
like the
nope, you
Thunderbird
gotta
Jeep.
fucking
Pedal it
feet.
yourself.
Yeah, we're Fred Flintstoning it up
Exactly.
in this bitch.
Yes.
So Jung believed life was not just a series of random events, but rather an expression of a deeper order. This deeper order led to the insights that a person. This deeper order would lead to insights that a person was both embedded in a universal wholeness, and that the realization of this was more than just an intellectual exercise. So basically, from a religious perspective, synchronicity shares a similar characteristic to a intervention of grace, or like a divine intervention of sorts.
Yeah.
And then to give an example of where this kind of stems from is, as a psychiatrist, he was seeing a patient of his, and there's a story called the Scarab story. And this is
I like this story.
Yeah, it's a very interesting story, and this is written in his voice. So, by way of example, I shall mention an incident from my own observation. A young woman I was treating had, at a critical moment, a dream in which she was given a golden scarab. While she was telling me this dream, I sat with my back to a closed window. Suddenly, I heard a noise behind me, like a gentle tapping. I turned around and saw a flying insect knocking against the window pane from outside. I opened the window and caught the creature in the air as it flew in. It was the nearest analogy to a golden scarab that one finds in our latitudes, a scarabaeid beetle. This common rose beetle, which I guess is contrary to its usual habitat, had eventually felt the urge to get into the dark room at this particular moment. It was an extraordinarily difficult case to treat, in reference to the woman, and up to the time of the dream, little or no progress had been made. I should explain that the main reason for this was my patient's animus, which was steeped in Cartesian philosophy and clung so rigidly to their own idea that she was unable to weaken it. So basically, the power.
The animus from Jungian philosophy is like the male's like feminine side.
Right.
That, like society.
So there's the
usually rejects.
the anima, and the animus. Yes, the male-female duality. So that was a synchronistic moment. So yeah, to see two beetles may not, be one thing, but the fact that they were literally speaking about a dream that she had about a beetle, and then the beetle came to the window, he opened it, caught it, and then it was there. That was more than just like a mere coincidence. It was serendipitous in nature almost, in what happened.
Or maybe they just spoke it into existence.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where we can get into the spiritual side of stuff.
Right.
Her thought, I think that remark on the way she, her philosophy is really interesting, because Cartesian philosophy is like a thought experiment wherein the individual's mind is actually separate from the body and the outside world, and you're kind of outside of yourself directing your body around.
Kind of like an
The
avatar.
daemon or avatar, yeah. Which I think, I like his shade on that. It's like, oh well, she's into this shit,
Right.
It almost goes along with the simulation theory.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think
Where,
psychological.
we're all living in a simulation.
Well, yeah, and it's like this is just a big video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you go into the more mundane aspects of it, people will discredit synchronicity by saying, if you look at the law of truly large numbers, it states that in large enough populations, any strange event is arbitrarily likely to happen by mere chance. There's also confirmation bias, a tendency to search for or interpret new information in a way that confirms one's preconceptions. And then there's another thing called apophenia, a term used for the mistaken detection of a pattern or meaning in a random or meaningless data. So that's your mundane side.
Yeah, and Jung also believed, like what were you saying, the Cartesian philosophy or whatever?
Well, no, he was.
No,
he
he's
was
not-
shading her on that one.
He was referencing that she clung on to this
So
Right,
construct.
but he had
do anything
he
with
had
her.
like similar ideas that like we were all like all of our consciousnesses were part of a collective.
Well, yeah,
and-
he has similar ideas that he like mentions in like his later writings, but like for this, I imagine he was publishing it in more of his
Scientific,
psychology
yeah.
stuff. So like, he
Right.
tried to keep that as separate as possible.
He was definitely into archetypes. He was definitely into I wouldn't call it like spirituality, but I feel like there was a little crack in the door of the willingness to try to explain it in the most sensible way as far as like our purpose here in a way, you know. But yeah, then it goes, okay, so with synchronicity, a lot of times on the spiritual aspect of things, we talk about things that keep appearing, right? So a lot of people in the pagan, spiritual, new age, whatever communities, they'll call, like, there's a thing called 1111. Have you guys heard of 1111?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So synchronistic numbers constantly popping up in your face. Like, have you ever had any numbers, like repetitive numbers?
Yep.
So have you ever thought about it? Like, what does that mean?
No, I every time I do, I'm like, is it just random? Or
So
is it
what,
something?
like, what numbers do you usually see?
1111's a big one.
Okay. Is it just when you check the clock, or is it like you look on like a receipt, you see that on like a cost of something?
No, yeah. Like it's not just a time thing. Like those numbers, I see that like a lot.
I always look up at 11:11 for some reason. Or
Okay.
I always look at the clock.
Do you feel that there's some sort of higher meaning to it, or it's a coincidence to you?
Yeah, to me, I've never actually thought about it too much.
No?
Just like, oh, it's a fun time.
Well,
I
were you
guess to look up.
familiar with synchronicity in the
Yeah.
concept? Because I mean, you know about Jung. And then what about you, Lauren?
I mean, 1111 to me, I always associate with the Four of Wands, just because that's the 1111 card. So anytime I see that, that's where my mind goes. So
Okay.
So like a divine union.
Well, the
kinda
Four of
deal.
Wands is the marriage card.
Exactly.
Girl,
So
you know
if
your
I
tarot.
if
Are you
I
guys
see
saying wands or
Wands.
like wand?
In a
Juan.
yeah, Juan, yeah,
Four wands.
four Mexicans hanging out at a quinceañera.
Yeah.
which one you gonna marry?
Look at them 4 of wands.
So basically,
Well, we had a 11:11, or we had an 11:11:11 today.
So when we started talking about synchronicity today, not only did we have that, but I had another situation happen too. But Lauren went on to our Instagram page for Mysteriousnesses, and we had 111 people following us, and we were also following 111 people.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
That was freaky.
At that moment.
And then when she sent the screenshot to us, I looked down at my phone and it was 5:55.
Yeah.
When
so-
she sent that, which was really weird. And then I had another synchronistic moment earlier today when someone sent me a text message and they were talking about how the universe wants them to read a certain book. And as they sent me that, I was writing down the word universe for this research.
Oh yeah.
And it was also in reference to synchronicity. So it was almost like
Very meta.
it was very meta. It
Well,
was very
That
weird.
shit happens to me
You
all
and
the
your
time,
friends
too, man.
use the term universe quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're starting a cult. If you guys want to join, it's $1,000 a head.
Oh
I don't know.
And you
if
got to get a
this
brand
is-
of my initials on your inner thigh.
You gotta wear that red kimono if you're joining, John.
Oh, yes.
Because my frog's jumping over here about that.
Now I don't know if this is synchronicity or not, but one of the things that I always do notice is like going on a long car trip when the time that I'm in matches the miles that I have left to get there.
Wow.
So
That's
that-
very.
and
That's a weird one.
Yeah, and it's like it's always a little bit before I get to the destination. So it'll be like I have fucking I don't know 20 miles to go, and then it'll be 20 o'clock,
minutes.
20 minutes. Yeah,
Oh,
it's weird.
military time? You keep on
Well,
your phone?
no, I don't know
keep
why I
military
said
time on my
20
phone.
and then I
Dude.
said it. Yeah, but it's weird. It always happens. Yeah.
Like 12
Interesting.
miles left,
Yeah.
and then it hits midnight
Yeah.
as you're going home.
Well, a weird one that I get is not all the same numbers, but like 1, 2, 3,
Consecutive numbers.
Consecutive numbers.
So that could mean the manifestation of something coming because you're going upwards.
Ah, okay.
And if you're going backwards, like declining in value, things are. It's like it's
Going backwards.
banishing,
Yeah.
getting away from.
I look at the clock at 12:34 pretty often.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Not on purpose. it
Do you
just
guys ever wake up at
happens.
3:33 in the morning?
I've done that
Yeah.
one before. I don't like that,
That's
one.
a con. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one creeps me out.
Yeah.
I usually go to
Four-
bed at 3:33 in the morning.
John's the reason why.
4:27 and 7:47 always stick out to me because 427 was the price of with taxes for a rental when I worked at Blockbuster. It was $3.99 with tax came out to 427. If you got 2 older movies, it came out to 747. So for some reason, I always notice
staring
those
at the
numbers.
cash register for years.
Maybe, yeah. It's just
You
like
have bonded over
But
the
when
trauma bonded over Blockbuster
Like,
I
prices.
mean, yeah. How many times did you punch that into the cash register? You know, it's ingrained in your memory.
No, that's what I'm saying. But years later, when I worked at like Steak and Shake, the price of some items came out to those totals too.
Interesting.
So it was just. I mean,
So that you can actually go
Well, I
in
mean, the price
and look
of a combo
up.
is $3.99 at Steak and
well,
Shake.
yeah, but okay. Motherfucker, you
It's the
asked
same
me to
tax.
come here,
It's
John.
like the same tax.
I want a steak sandwich and a side of synchronicity, bitch.
Yeah. Well, the 747 though isn't because you have to get 2 specific menu items for it to
Okay.
equal that. So.
So basically, in order to buy
so what
into
do these-
the
yeah, what do
spiritual
these mean?
aspect of synchronicity, you have to believe in some sort of idea that that mind and matter are the same thing, or that there's some higher connection in between everything in the universe. So whether you believe in God or a deity, or you believe that there is a collective consciousness, or the interconnectedness of everything, and then so basically, the numerological aspect of synchronicity, there's corresponding values and principles and meanings behind each one. So, for instance, 1111 is the most commonly talked about number in reference to synchronicity, and 11 is known to the people in the spiritual community as a master number. So, when you see the numbers 1111, it is basically the universe sending you a cosmic yes.
So you're doing something right.
Right, you're on the right path. The universe is letting you know you're in line with your cosmic purpose. It's like a little wink from the universe. And then another thing that they say you should do is if you do see 1111, try to be mindful of the thoughts going through your brain at that point, because whatever it is you're thinking is about to be manifested into this reality.
Okay.
And you need to ask yourself what it is that I'm thinking at the moment. Do I want this to happen? And I happen to masturbate at 11:11 every day, and I've never said
Daytime or
no.
the nighttime?
Both.
Nice.
Yes. 11:11, 111, 222, like every hour.
Cuckoo
Now,
clock.
what about like it? I mean, because synchronicities happen to me outside of numbers too.
Oh, they
And
definitely
that
happen.
does happen outside of numbers. So there's the numerological aspect.
Well, we're gonna get to it. Let's go over some more of these numbers.
my
if
bad.
you're
and
seeing
then
some of these
so
numbers.
basically, one symbolizes manifestation, assertion, and the positive active principle. It stands for it represents the ego, self-assertion, positivism, and in a religious sense, it symbolizes the Lord. So, like, if you think about 0 is like the cosmic egg; it's nothingness. 1 is the manifestation of consciousness, of existence. And then, like, for instance, in tarot, 1 is associated with the magician, which
Wands.
is and if you look at the tarot card, he's got a wand and he has all of the tools needed to manifest his reality. And then, for instance, like if you keep seeing 222, some of the things that are associated with 222 is balance, love, relationships, and choices. So if you think 2, like 2 different people, it also could be polarity and duality. So as above, so below. It could be finding love with a partner, stability.
I always think of
Oop, I've been getting this one lately. I'm stoked.
I always think of Cloris Leachman. It might be a little dated reference.
So you're
TV
manifesting Cloris Leachman
No,
into
the
reality.
the TV show Apartment 22. Oh, it's 227.
Oh.
Never mind.
You're trying to make a synchronicity out of a.
I never mind. I
But
was
this
wrong.
can happen when you get deep into this. Your brain will start to push things. And it's
Oh
like,
yeah,
it's-
because memory cannot be trusted.
Yeah.
Memory will
No.
Yeah, so like your brain will,
So
like
it's-
John says, it'll fill in the
so
holes.
if you get into this, which I really like this as like a guide, especially since we started getting into it, because I really didn't know much. What?
No, I finished saying, but I just had a synchronicity thing that I just remembered that was fucking
Oh, okay.
crazy that I wanna talk
Okay,
about.
wow, that was powerful.
Yeah.
But like as a guide, I really like these things, but I did notice that I was getting in kind of deep on it, and I think this is one of those things where you have to balance yourself. where,
That's what we were
like-
saying earlier. It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Right. You can't be like concentrating on this all of the time. You know.
No.
You
gotta
just
use
let
these.
it happen.
You gotta use these as like indications of to focus on certain aspects of your own life.
And this is
not
just the
just finding the synchronicities everywhere.
Right. This is just a numerological standpoint, because numerology can be its own little occult practice in and of itself. It's,
Right.
You know, it's very esoteric.
Or
and
it could
there's-
just also be like a way to dig into your own subconscious.
Right, and that's what tarot is, because, like, for
Right.
instance, like tarot is a story of life. It's from beginning to end, and basically, like I said, we all establish patterns. We find patterns in things, and we apply them to our social construct of living, and that's what makes them hold value. But anyways, what were you gonna say, bro?
Okay, yeah, check this out. So 2 different shows. There's the show which I love, New Girl. I've literally watched New Girl thousands of times through the seasons, just over and over again. And then there's a show, Good Girls. They both have the name girl in it, so okay, that's whatever, that's normal. There's an episode in New Girl where one of the characters' dad is trying to sell a horse to these Russian guys. And one of the Russian guys is like, oh, are you wearing a wire? And he's like, he starts saying, take off your pants, take off your pants. And it's like thick Russian accent. Years later, I'm watching Good Girls, and one of the characters goes to get training from Krav Maga. And the scene right before it, the character who goes to get training from Krav Maga, he's with his wife, and she just comes home, and she says, take off your pants. And then the very next scene, that guy who said that in New Girl is there, and he's the Krav Maga instructor.
I am astonished that you remembered both of those things in and of itself.
No, because when it happened, I remember, like, this is a
'Cause
crazy
it was so
fucking
specific?
coincidence. And then she was just talking, it just popped up into my head.
No, he's
and
not.
the name of
and
the
he-
episode was
and-
Take Off Your Pants, too.
And he's not really exaggerating on the amount of times that he's watched.
Oh,
New
no,
Girl.
yeah, I've
He's
watched-
Oh, really?
Oh,
He's
no.
probably watched every episode 12 times at least.
At least, probably more,
The
yeah.
deep spiritual meanings of New Girl.
Of New Girl.
So I don't know if you guys want to go over any more of the numbers.
I
like
do.
couple more
I
numbers.
love
Okay,
these numbers.
so 333 stands for the Trinity, harmony, creation, higher purpose. If you think like the God, Son, and the Holy Spirit,
Right.
maiden, mother, crone. I forget the male version. It's sage something, whatever.
Sage,
Yeah.
solitude, and semen.
Yeah, Actually, it's just semen,
Yeah, it's
semen.
Yeah,
Semen,
Triple
semen.
semen.
Yeah.
you
Winner,
got triple
winner.
semen.
Yeah. Is that a horse name or a strain of marijuana?
It sounds like a drink.
That's exactly right.
I mean, it could be.
You can. It is
It
liquid.
could, yeah.
Unless you got some issues going on with your plumbing. You need to drink a little more water. So like the 3 represents the Trinity of life. So if you keep seeing the numbers 333, this is a signal in that it's time for you to wake up to your higher life purpose. This means you have a special mission in life to bring positive healing to others. This number is often symbolic of group cooperation and collaboration, because if you think about it, between 2 people is one intimate relationship. 3 can represent a third party coming
It's
into
like a
group.
family dynamic.
Right,
Like
or
the
it could be like a
Schoolhouse Rock. 3 is the magic number.
3 is the magic number. It is. And it's also representative of the triangle, which is a strong, solid structure. So if
Yeah.
you're seeing 3s, you can kind of attribute it to that. And then in tarot, the number 3 is represented by the Empress, which is a card of maternal influence. She's a creator of life, a creator of romance, and she's fertile. So it's like planting a seed, for instance. 444 is manifestation. It's also representative of earth energy, stability, hard work, and dedication. So earth,
I never see that one.
earth tends to be representative of tangible things or things of money and work. And then also, if you think about the 4 elements, earth, air, fire, and water, that could be representative of 444.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, I think it's called.
Or yeah, well the song. And
Do
then
you remember? Do you remember?
so if you're seeing 444, it just signifies that your ideas are taking shape into this tangible reality. They're coming into focus and actually happening. It's giving you the much needed validation. At times you might feel misunderstood and no one agrees to your point of view. This is a sign of unconditional love and demonstrates that no matter how other people are acting around you, your feelings are honest, true, and authentic. And back to the 4 of Wands in the tarot represents marriage or a coming together of celebratory things. But there's more. We can like put more on like show notes. I have a
555. What Lauren got today is
Oh, yeah.
visionary change, adventure, seeker, mysticism, communication, risk, truth, and imagination.
that is literally your like that should be on your birth certificate.
She was born at 5:55
So you got
in the
the
morning.
111111,
Yeah,
followed
I
by the
got that.
555.
Yeah, I've gotten that, and I've been getting 222 a lot lately.
Yeah,
Those
you
have
got a
been
lot
my-
going on.
I do. Well, I mean, part of it, I will attribute. I'll be honest. I will attribute it to to the brown car thing, where it's like
Right.
we've been talking
Yeah.
about this a
Right.
lot.
It's in the
But-
front of your mind.
Yeah, I'm willing to, but maybe there's also like, yes, you could say, oh well, it's more common because you're thinking about it, but it's also like maybe it's more common because I'm willing to see it. You know,
Right.
that's another side of that coin. Is like I'm open to the idea. I'm open to receiving that communication.
Well, and on a higher plane of thinking, if you dig into that a little deeper, the concept of what you think becomes your reality, and we are just a reflection. We are basically a
cyclical
reflection
thing.
of the universe experiencing itself. So basically, we're just mirrors
Yeah.
to our thoughts.
I have an interesting synchronicity story that doesn't have to do with numbers.
Yeah.
Because synchronicity could be anything. It's just kind of like you know.
Well, it's like the scarab story.
Well,
Right, or it's like, it's like the Scarab story, or it's like it could be like meeting someone over and over again.
Yeah.
Like there's you ever like meet somebody like 3 days in a row, like you don't know the person very well, and obviously it doesn't count for like people going to comedy open mic or anything like that.
Right, yeah.
But it's like you go to 3 different places 3 days in a row and you see the same person. Or like I've had it where I've been to 2 restaurants 2 days in a row and gotten the same waitress.
Right, or go to like the same glory hole a couple days in a row, get the
Same
same
guy.
dick.
Same mouth.
It's uncircumcised and it's got a big vein on the right. Sometimes you can just and it tastes the same.
So I was my first tour in Iraq. We went from Kuwait all the way to Baghdad, and when we got to Baghdad, this was in 2003. So if you remember the footage of like Saddam
When they were
Hussein's
bringing
statue
down the
coming
statue?
Yeah, I was there for that, and there was a lot of reporters in Baghdad at the time. Like they had gone there when the war was about to start in hopes to cover it.
Right.
And then once the war started, they all were essentially like hostages in the country. They couldn't leave the hotels that they were in. Or
I do
whatever.
remember that, yeah.
So it was kind of scary for them because they were like, "Holy shit, these guys better hurry up and win the war because we're stuck here."
Yeah.
So we did get to Baghdad. We beat all of those guys. And in Baghdad, you're not supposed to go to the bar, but obviously I go to the bar. I go to one of the bar. I don't go to like the one that's closest to where my unit is positioned.
Right.
But I go to another one. Maybe
They had bars in Baghdad?
Yeah,
Were they like underground, like speakeasy type bars?
Baghdad, Iraq was a secular country. Yeah. It wasn't a very religious country
Really?
until after
Until it became
Saddam was defeated. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like women wore jeans in Baghdad. Like it was like a pretty secular place
I mean,
back then.
for now, that's saying something.
Yeah. Right.
Considering how radicalized things
A
have
lot of
become.
things are different now.
Right.
But, back then, it was like normal. Like some women wore a hijab, some women didn't. It was like a personal choice type of thing.
Right.
But people were allowed to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember going to the bar and taking a seat at the bar. I'm in my utilities, bulletproof vest, like everything, like drinking beers and stuff. And this guy sits down next to me, like tall, blonde guy, and starts talking to me. He's from the Radio Netherlands. And he's reporting on the war for Radio Netherlands, which is, I guess, their public radio. It's
like NPR?
It's like NPR, BBC, or whatever. It's like that's what they have in the Netherlands.
Uh-huh.
So he asks if he can interview me, and I say sure.
Sure, man.
I say sure if you let me use your satellite phone to call home. Because we didn't have it.
Oh yeah.
We didn't. I mean, we were moving so fast we couldn't even do letters. So it's like
and
call
probably for security reasons, I would assume
security
too.
reasons. So like
yeah.
Call my mom, call my girlfriend, that type of thing. I do the interview. I make the call, and then I remember being on the phone with my dad, and then hearing like an explosion and a gunfight start, and I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go." So
Clark Kent goes into the phone booth,
Holy shit.
pukes up the beer he just puked.
So I go, and and I don't see the guy again. Fast forward to 2 years later, I'm on my 3rd tour in Iraq. I get woken up pretty early, and they tell my unit that we got to go pick up a reporter from the field.
No.
And I'm like, sure, this happens once a week. You got to pick up a reporter from the field.
Right,
like,
right, for protection
or
and
once
everything.
a month or whatever. It's like they want to come back from the unit that they were covering or whatever. I go and we pull up, and it's the same fucking guy from Radio.
Did he
Netherlands.
remember it was you?
And he recognizes me immediately.
Really?
He was like, I won an award on the piece.
Wow.
Like, it was great. Can we do a follow-up? And so I do a follow-up, and he's like, yeah, you're going to be famous in the Netherlands.
Did you hear
Holy shit.
another,
John
like,
Jay,
during the
famous
follow-up,
in the
did another
Netherlands.
gunfight break out? 'Cause that would've been weird as
no.
fuck.
That would have
That
been
would
crazy.
be
It's like
weird.
you're in a loop now, dude.
Yeah.
Not that time. But, it's just crazy. Like, what are the odds
That
of
yeah,
that? Well,
of
and
the
it's-
entire world.
Especially since I don't think I was supposed to be doing a
Well, the
third
fact that it
tour.
was your 3rd tour, because I can understand like how many reporters could there possibly be in Baghdad,
Yeah.
but you happen to be on tour, your 3rd tour at
And
the
this is
same
in
time
Fallujah.
that this
It's a
guy.
different city.
Okay, yeah, so it was in the same country, but not even the same area.
No.
So that would so I would definitely say that's a meaningful coincidence
Right.
on a mundane level. On a spiritual level, who knows what could have been taking place?
Now, what about this? I've been dealing with a lot of synchronicity as far as like dating. Like when I got divorced,
Oh,
and
I
I first
remember
started
this.
dating, I dated 3 librarians back to back, and
All
two
the
of them-
same name.
Well, no,
Two of them are the same
They
name.
were very similar. It was Liz, Elizabeth, and then Amelia. So very similar names. Now recently,
I know a librarian named Amelia.
oh yeah.
Oh, it's her?
Yeah. That's how I
Steven
met her.
Marlin's friend?
Yeah.
Y'all been
Yeah,
fucking Eskimo brothers
no,
and shit?
No, we never had sex. We dated a couple times and we just became friends.
No,
Oh,
drama
I was gonna say
on the
that would have been a weird
paranormal
synchronicity right then and there.
No. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
Shout
we
out
had
to
be
Amelia,
together.
you're cool as
Oh, I
shit.
love Amelia.
Yeah.
I miss her. I used to go over to her house and we would drink wine. It was great.
I did a tarot reading for her drunk as fuck at that drunk history party that they had. Anyways, go back to your story.
Now, recently, I was just seeing a girl. She just moved away. Her name is it's her pronounced Elise Ann, but it's spelled like Alyssa Ann.
Mhm.
2 girls before that, both named Alyssa. One was spelled differently, and now I have a date tomorrow night with a girl named Alyssa. So it's like 4 Alyssas. And when I was in high school, I was in love with this girl named fucking Alyssa, and she didn't want shit to do with me. So I don't know if I'm like putting like that out
Alyssa
in
is
the
not
universe.
a real common
It's not.
name.
Four in a row though, and the 3 librarians in a row.
But I
That's
think you're
weird
kind of
as
just
fuck.
wanting to brag about getting that dick wet, Brad.
Well,
throwing that chocolate around town.
I'm not bragging. I'm just
And
saying.
you
it's
also
weird.
you also have a type. It's like nerdy girls.
I mean, I don't think I have a type.
I don't know. Maybe.
I know. I mean, I like all.
I don't know. The universe seems to think otherwise.
We do
Oh,
have a
listen,
question in the chat.
We have a
I
couple,
can't see the
actually.
chat. Yeah, what's the questions?
Question in the chat. This is from JTSM1080. Where's things like the golden ratio and Benford's law fall in compared to synchronicity?
Well, I know in reference to like, okay, so if you're getting into like the golden ratio and shit, you're getting into like
That's
higher
crazy people.
vibrate.
That's crazy.
No,
people
I
stuff.
don't. No, actually, I'm kind of getting like
You're
into
getting deep
it.
into it.
There's
so what
a
is
guy.
the golden ratio?
Okay, so it's basically like the premise of all existence is based upon the golden ratio. There's a guy named Robert Edward Grant on Instagram. If you're into like sacred geometry and like how numbers and frequencies and vibrations all kind of work together, and music, he is like this insanely smart polymath. He's like an Archimedes of our day.
And isn't there like a type of frequency that goes along with the golden ratio? There's like a certain numbered frequency.
Yeah, it's like there's the I'm gonna get this all wrong because I really don't know a whole lot about it enough to like really talk about it. But I understand the premise and like there's like the Euler number, the Euler number, and like how 3, 6, and 9 kind of.
Oh wait, is that the ohm like that thing? Because I think that's 145.
There's a well, and then there's different and there's frequencies to it. But the idea of like the golden ratio is just a common pattern that you see in nature. Like it has something to do with just how things evolve organically through this dimension.
The
oh,
golden, the
like
golden
the
ratio is
the
a
fucking
5
the
frequency.
spiral thing.
Yeah, it's the
Like,
little.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
round.
Like you see that in like a shellfish.
All
or
of
like,
Da
or a
Vinci's
hurricane looks
paintings
like that, a
are based
galaxy.
on it. Like
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, and you were saying
your thumbprint.
You
It's
were saying
all-
like, is it the ohm? It's the 5 frequency. It's 1.618 hertz. It's like like it's used for a lot of meditation music and shit
Right.
like that.
Yeah. And then I know, like a lot of businesses when they create logos, they'll
They
use
go
the
by
golden
golden
ratio
ratio.
because it's the most aesthetically pleasing thing to look at because
The
it's
human eye just naturally accepts it.
right. There's nothing jarring about it. So, but as far as like how that plays into synchronicity, that's above my pay grade. But I do believe
like
that
it's all
math
related.
and geometry are like the fundamental premise of our existence.
Benford's law is interesting for synchronicity. I'd be interested to see what you think about.
Make sure you get right up in that mic.
Because it's the law of basically repeating numbers.
Okay.
And the idea is that it's more likely to get like in statistical data. What will come out if the product of the data is a repeating number, it's more likely to be a lower number than it is a higher number. So, what does it say? So 1 appears as the leading digit 30% of the time. So 1.111 repeating.
Wait, can I guess what the next one is? 7.
No, it's
Oh, okay.
no, it's in like lowest to highest, like literally 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it's more likely to be 1 than it is to be 9. Like 9 is less. No, 1 appears 30% of the time. 9 significant digits less than 5% occur 11.1 repeating percent of
Which
the time.
is one, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
interesting.
it's interesting that like it's more likely to be a 1 repeating than it is definitely to be a 9, and that's weird. I don't know. You'd have to like sit and think about that and look at.
here's the
I'm gonna
thing. I
meditate on
want
it.
to be like I want to learn more about it because if you look at some of these fundamental principles that this guy talks about, like I said, Robert Edward Grant, he goes into frequencies. He goes into like he's basically created this like theory about how your DNA, if you were to like write it out on paper. And if you turned it into music notes and shit, how like it turns into the frequency of the golden ratio and shit, and he actually makes sense of it. Like he'll take the periodic table of elements and like assign frequency values based upon their atomic numbers and stuff, and it always comes out like everything always comes out to like either the golden ratio or the I want to say the Euler number. I know that's not right. Boiler number, one of those two.
See, when I think about shit like that, how everything like the golden ratio, the spiral thing, is that what it's called? The fucking spiral thing?
That's
Yeah.
like the spiral
It's
thing
like-
is like the Fibonacci sequence.
I feel
Or
like,
yeah,
Yeah.
and is that what I'm thinking? The Fibonacci sequence.
I think so,
But
yeah.
that uses the golden ratio, right?
I think so.
But
yeah.
it's the golden ratio that creates the
Yeah.
sequence.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
I feel like it's like, okay, is there some divine power that makes everything like that? And then I think, well, if it's so divine,
It's just a computer
why is it
algorithm.
the same fucking recipe every time?
I think it's because it's just within the constructs of the physical plane that we live in.
It's like
That's
computer
how
That's
code.
just the rules.
Computer code is
Yeah.
the same thing over and over again, creating different new things.
Right. The only
Which-
difference is now we've applied consciousness to this existence, and we can examine it. You
Yeah.
know. And then, like I said, if you want to believe in the idea that we are just a reflection of the universe experiencing itself, then
Then
it makes
what
sense.
we get off on more than anything else is patterns.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
the
Patterns
the
and
nicest
recognition.
thing, Yeah.
Greg wants to know, can anyone tell me if I'm cursed? Yes.
Do
Yes,
you
you
have
are.
any symptoms?
You're
of
always
being
cursed.
You're cursed to be a cool ass dude, Greg.
We
Anyway,
only curse people
anytime
that
any-
watch this podcast.
No, anytime anyone signs up for comedy open mic for that very first time,
You get
yes, is in
cursed.
fact cursed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially if you go to Coconuts on St. Pete Beach.
Leah asked if if 1111 is the whole 1111 make a wish
Oh,
That's where
that's
it
another
definitely
thing.
comes from.
Yeah.
Manifestation, right?
So yeah, if they equate it to a shooting star, so if you do see it, you can, if you want to manifest something, think about it, whatever it is, make that wish in a sense.
That's like what you were saying, where
Right.
take note of what you were thinking when it came up.
So here's an interesting thing you guys can do real quick if you want. I don't know if anybody has a pen or if you want to use your cell phones.
Yeah.
Do you want to figure out what your birth number is?
I know
Sure.
what my birth number
I
is.
know what mine is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I am an 11.
Oh, look
Alright.
at you.
Bitch, I got the master
I don't-
number.
what
And
do I
wait,
need to
here's what's
figure it out?
interesting. I'm also born on 1122.
What do I need? Calculator?
Yeah, calculator.
So okay, add up. You're gonna add in sequential order your day, the day, the month, and then the year individually, and then you're gonna get a number.
you add them.
So like for instance, if your birthday is January 1st,
98.
1000, it's 1 + 1 + 1.
2014.
Wait, what?
2014 is the number I got by adding my day, month, and year.
Now you
Or is
add-
No,
it
you want to
the
add
full-
them individually. So if
What do you
like
mean?
if you're born in 1985, it's 1 + 9 + 8 + 5.
Oh, so how do I? Oh,
So you do the 1
So what's
plus
your
5 is
what
my
is your birthday? January
January 15th.
15th. So 1 + 1 + 5
1 plus 1 plus 5
plus 1 for the
plus 1
plus 9 plus whatever the
plus
year
9 plus 8 plus 3
equals.
28.
Okay, so since it's 28, you have to reduce that down. So 8 + 2
10.
is 10.
Okay.
1 + 0 is 1. So your birth number is 1.
So
Yeah.
do
One.
me. I'm 6/26/82.
Do it again.
So what
all
is it?
right, let me get a
He's got a
calculator
calculator
out.
out.
Hold up.
I
Calculator?
can just walk
Hold
me through
on.
it. I got mine.
What is your birthday?
June 26, 1982.
June 2 6 1 9 8 2. So that goes to 34. So 3 + 4 is 7. So you're a 7. You're a 1.
I'm an 8.
You're an 8.
What does 7 mean? 7's like lucky.
I have a link, and if John goes into that Google Doc
Okay.
and goes to that link, it
I mean,
will
I think
show.
I'm lucky to still be alive with the choices I've made in my past.
Yeah. So basically, you want to reduce the final number down to a single digit, unless the number is 11 or 22.
Okay.
Those are master numbers, and as a member of the master number community, I'm just letting you all know we are better than you.
Okay.
So.
Well, what does one say, John?
And then if John wants to read everybody's birth number.
The Life Path 1 suggests that you enter this plane with skills allowing you to become a leader type rather easily. Your nature is charged with individualistic desires, a demand for independence, and the need for personal attainment. Many of our military generals, corporate leaders, and political leaders are men and women having the Life Path 1. When you display positive 1 traits, your mind is capable of significant creative inspiration, and it possesses the enthusiasm and drive to accomplish a great deal. Okay, that's a lot.
Go to
Yeah,
7.
so that's the
Go to 7.
basic
Check me out,
idea.
check me out.
Go 7 and 8, because I'm 8.
7 is the life path 7 suggests that you enter this plane with a gift for investigation, analysis, and keen observation.
Okay.
You are a thinker of the first order. You evaluate situations very quickly and with amazing accuracy. As a result, you are thorough and complete in your work. The perfectionist who expects everyone else to meet a high standard of performance too.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about the perfectionist part because you got some cancer tendencies in there, and that is not cancery.
Let's see, what is
8.
what is 8?
Go down.
Your feet are dirty.
No.
You are
life
filthy
path
in bed.
8 suggests that you enter this plane armed to lead, direct, organize, and govern.
that the
These
same
are all
as
the
1?
same.
Yeah.
You are very this is like Jared's
This
joke.
is
You're very
Jared's
ambitious
joke?
and
Well-
thoughtful and creative.
You're going into the beginning, and I think there's like way more in there.
are-
Yeah, it's just a lot to read though.
Yeah.
I'll look into it later.
But yeah, check out the show notes because I'll make
We'll
sure.
put it all in the notes. But then there's also other synchronicities. So like there's omens, like
yeah, let's
animals.
get into some omens.
There's household synchronicities that could pop up.
My mom is big on omens.
Really? Like what's the biggest thing that she's
That's like a southern
Oh,
Kentucky
it's
thing for
it's
sure.
a big Kentucky thing. So like,
what's the one thing she freaks out about the most?
if you get a bloody egg,
oh,
like,
well that
shit, shit goes bad, and like and it's happened actually.
Does she remedy the superstition in some sort of like folksy way?
She doesn't really, other than like if there's like a family call, like, hey, just stay inside today, like be cool. Like she'll literally call everyone like, I had a bloody egg, so somebody's getting fucked. Like, so
Interesting. So she believes it's a like a
I've never had a bloody egg.
I have
they're,
once.
They're rare.
I've had double yolks.
Yeah.
Double
which I
yolks.
think is another
No,
omen.
double
It is
yolks is an
another
omen
omen.
for delicious.
I don't have an omen, but I have the superstition, which is like, I guess it's big in the black community. John, you live in the black community, so you might know too. It's like if you're walking somebody, you don't like you don't split.
Never split the pole,
Yeah,
right?
never split the pole. Like if there's a pole, you
That's
don't each
true.
go. You go the same path for some reason. And I always do it. I don't know. It was taught to me as a kid.
I just read something about that the other day, and I'm trying to remember why that was important.
Splitting
I
the
think
poles.
because it
There's
has to
a
do with like
the
energy.
significance behind it. I think it's just the separation of two people.
Yeah.
I got a phone call the other day to be careful. My mom was upset because she had found a black feather, and she told me to be very careful that night.
Okay.
Your mom's into some stuff.
Oh yeah.
That
get
low
it.
country.
I get
her
it
daughter
honest.
is.
I get it. I get it very honest. Yeah, no, I get.
She's like, I got a
calls.
bloody egg and a feather the day you were born, and
Yeah,
that's why you're an 8.
It's not gonna work. It's exactly
That's why your
I'm an
feet
8.
never wash off.
Yeah.
Let's look at some of these animal omens. This is one I've been getting quite a bit.
So like
is,
if you see a certain
black
animal,
beetles.
what is it? You
Black
see black
beetles.
beetles all the time?
Oh, they've been getting in the house a bunch.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever seen? Was it
Often
Practical
called
Magic?
the Death Watch beetle. Old superstition says a black beetle crawling across your shoe or tapping inside of a wall is a sign of death to come. Some versions say you can avoid this unwelcome fate by safely transporting the beetle outside. That has not been happening. The puppy has been killing them.
So the
Oh,
puppy
so
is killing
she's your synchronicity killer.
Yeah, well, and
omen
then the
killer.
older dog is dying right now.
Yeah,
so maybe
yeah.
that's why. And then you know what? I never saw a beetle in the house before a
This
week
went
ago.
down.
A
Oh,
week and a half
wow.
ago.
And that's
Yeah,
when they found out that the dog was dying.
and that's right when we found
Wow.
out. Yeah.
You know what? I've two nights last week, I woke up and it was like 4 in the morning or something. It was like 3. It was 3:33, and I looked out my window. I saw a fucking white owl. I don't
No.
think they're around here.
For
I'm just
real?
kidding. No, they're-
Okay,
You
you're
got
about to
abducted
freak me
by
out.
aliens.
No, you're not.
That was in the movie.
That was the 5th
about
time.
aliens. Yeah.
That is one of the only movies I've ever seen that actually
Scared you? Yeah.
me.
Well, because
When
they
she
marketed
started
it.
talking in the
Yeah.
end and
Yeah.
that like Sumerian
Yeah.
and that was like
It's
real
because they
warped.
marketed it like it was actual real. I watched it with my daughter. She's like 14.
Well,
so
I
it's
know
okay.
Lilu's got a multi-pass,
Yeah.
so she's already, one up every. She's the supreme being, right? Like she
Yeah.
can do whatever she wants. But that movie was terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, owls is on the list though.
Let's see. Number 2 is rabbits. Most people have heard of the superstition that a rabbit's foot will bring good luck, but some cultures believe rabbits bringing bad luck. Thought to be witches in disguise, there are still some people who do not own rabbits due to this belief.
Well, it's like hares or tricksters in a sense, or like trickster spirits. So it could be like
kinda like
someone
Hares
shape-shifting.
and foxes.
They also represent fertility and paganism.
Number 3 is coyotes. Navajo legends indicate the coyote can be a bad omen if seen while on a journey. They say to turn back if you see a coyote in your path, otherwise you may meet a terrible fate. Oh, I never knew that.
Someone just
See coyotes
commented.
wherever I go.
JTSM 1080 has a 22 as his number. So of course we had to one up the 11 here. So he's a master number
Builder.
person.
Master builder.
Yeah.
Let's see, where are my omens at? Here we go. Owls, known to bring good luck and bad. Owls have been written into the oldest of folklore. Some African countries believe the owl to be a messenger for shamans to communicate with the spirit world. A Zuni tribe legend indicates an owl feather in a baby crib keeps evil spirits at bay.
It's interesting. You know, the other thing too is like why people put horseshoes above their doors.
Why is that?
Is because they're made of iron, and back in medieval times, they thought that iron would actually
Repel the fae.
repel the fae and
Yep.
repel like goblins and shit.
It would.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't walk
That's
into a house
factual.
if there is a horseshoe above your door. I'm not coming in there.
Why?
Because I look like a fucking hobgoblin.
Oh, I thought it was because you're a fairy.
Oh, that too. Ha! Huge fairy. That's it, and that's true.
That you're a huge fairy?
Well,
No,
yeah.
that's what they called me in high school.
Oh yeah.
Hugh Carey, huge fairy. It makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta give him fucking credit, man, because that was smart. I wouldn't even have thought of that.
I got Happy Gilmore and Gilmore Girls. It was dumb.
Gilmore Girls?
Yeah.
What
'cause it
was
a TV
yours?
show, Gilmore Girls.
What was yours, John?
They didn't fuck with John.
Yeah, I don't think
Kimono
I get fucked with
homo?
that
No homo.
Lauren, what was your nickname?
Oh, it was just
Low
the-
country crab boy.
No. I was just the weird goth chick. They didn't have to give me a nickname. I'd kind
They were afraid of getting cursed.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
scared of me.
Pink dolphins. Amazonian lore says that pink dolphins were humans once and will transform into humans at night and steal children from their homes. I think we've gone over that on a different episode before.
Dolphins
Really?
Are scary. They're definitely aliens.
Crows. Crows have so many superstitions surrounding them that there's little saying to remember them all. 1's bad, 2's luck, 3's health, 4's wealth, 5's sickness, 6 is death.
Not even like
Ooh.
superstition wise, crows are fucking like they recognize humans. They
They're
remember
smart
faces.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
extremely
Yeah.
intelligent. And also, I know certain if you're
I remember I
seeing
was at the
crows.
zoo once and a crow came down and he fucking jumped on my beer glass and he stuck his whole head in my beer. I was so pissed off.
That was one. One's bad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
bad. I had
yeah.
to buy
That
another
was
beer.
beer.
Yeah, exactly.
That was terrible.
No, but I know like if depending on what direction a bird, like if you see a flock of crows flying towards the west, or no, is it the west? Yes, west
Who
is
knows?
represents death, right, and water.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're flying into the west, I believe that represents death. If they're flying from the north or towards the north, like the directions matter too.
Sure.
So it's like all divinatory like principles.
Yeah.
I don't know, like the Wiccan Reed goes into like the wind. When the wind blows from the south, kiss your hand upon the mouth,
Yeah.
twice upon the mouth, or whatever.
Through the window.
I did want to get into this new thing that that I just kind of stumbled into today, just like researching stuff for
Yeah.
Synchronicity.
Yeah, I wanted to
Um,
talk about it because I didn't look it up.
Yeah, so I was looking up like correlation between like synchronicities and like people thinking that like we're living inside of a simulation and it's just like a glitch in the matrix or whatever. And that's like a pretty common thought, you know, like if we're in the matrix and then we see these omens or whatever and then the omens come true, that's just the matrix fucking up in a weird way. you
Right.
know? But I thought this was pretty interesting new hobby that's pretty new. It's called randonauting.
What?
Randonauting, I think is how it's called.
Randonauting.
RANDONAUTING.
Yeah. I downloaded the app and
and
I'm ready to uninstall it because I'm scared.
So the headline for this is what is randonauting and why is it leading people to dead bodies?
What?
So it's this week some curious teens made headlines when they allegedly found a dead body stuffed into a suitcase using the app Randonautica. So this app has become increasingly more popular during quarantine as people have tried to make fun for themselves while normal businesses and activities have been closed.
Was this some Wayfair bullshit?
No, this is an app, and I downloaded the app.
I'm downloading it right now.
Yeah, you guys should download this because it's free and it's like an actual thing that you can
So
try.
it's like geocaching,
It's like geocaching.
It's like geocaching with but
but
geo-
with like
Dead
the,
bodies.
The geocache
the ethereal cache.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
geocache is like a synchronicity. That's what you're hoping to find at the end of
Yeah,
this.
like you put your intent out there when you like, and it generates a random coordinates for you.
Yeah, so
And it's been leading people to
Interesting.
weird shit.
so people, you can check this out on TikTok because people are doing like what they're finding on TikTok.
I'm just curious, how did you find this in particular? What led you
You
to it?
Googled weird shit.
I was like Googling like just different variations of like synchronicity, and that's how I found this.
Interesting.
So so I found like a Australian guy. The app started in Australia first, so it was like
So-
an Australian guy finding weird stuff.
How do we know that these people found the dead bodies with the app and they weren't killing people?
Well,
and
we don't.
blaming? Yeah. So maybe that'll be the thing we can figure out in the app.
So randonauting is the act of using the Randonautica app to travel to random places near you based on a quantum random number generator and Mother Nature, which gives us specific coordinates for you
and
to
Mother
follow.
Nature.
Yeah. So when you open the app, which is available to download everywhere now, it says Australia in this article, but I think I got it. So
I have it, yeah.
you start by setting a radius. So you set a radius, how
How
far
far
you're
you're
willing
wanting
to
to
go.
go.
And
I want to. Let's do it now and do like 20 feet. There's a dead body right underneath of that piano.
What if one just
I found my
manifests out of
keys. So it spits out coordinates for you to travel to. The app has an instruction video in it, and it says it can be influenced by the user's thoughts and consciousness. So this is why setting up the app, it asks whether you'd visit attractors, highly concentrated quantum points, voids, sparse quantum points, anomalies, reported patterns of areas influenced by thought, and urges you to focus on your intent while the app sets a location. So you get an intent, you set a radius.
I'm looking for some marijuana.
You have it generate a number, and then it just sends you off in that direction.
I'm curious about what they mean by highly contacted quantum points and sparsely contacted.
So maybe it's
points.
it's a point that tends to just randomly generate for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, so maybe if you want to go somewhere new, tell them to do the void. Do
So
a
it might be
sparse
something like you just set like your intention is like I would like to see something beautiful, and it takes you around behind a bar. You know, that's maybe kind of tucked out of the way, and there's a nice mural back there, and maybe 100 people have seen that because of this app or whatever.
I
I thought you were gonna say like a homeless guy just like.
That's where I was
shitting
going.
or
To.
I can give you some coordinates on that. You don't even need the app.
Oh man, I got Google.
Go out under 275 in Central. There's a whole bunch.
So this is the homework. I want people to download this app.
Yeah.
And give it a shot.
I'm
and
gonna tell it
then
I
come
want to
back
see
and-
Bigfoot.
Yeah, come back next
that
month.
white thing gonna pull up.
Yeah, I'm
on
gonna
you.
go, bitch. Go to. I'm gonna say white thing. If it tells me to go to Mobile, Alabama, I'm throwing my phone into a dumpster and lighting it on fire.
Yep. Smoke signals to communicate. From
So I
now
think
on.
this is cool. This is like forced synchronicity.
This
It's
is
like-
awesome.
you're
I
trying to-
love this.
You're trying to force some
We-
wonder and novelty
You
onto
know
your
what?
life.
We should do this and like video document it.
Yeah, I want to.
Well, that's something I've been wanting to do on the podcast, and if anybody has any sort of ideas as well, like I want us to do like some like on-site field trips, like go to places that are considered, highly paranormal, or people places that see UFOs.
Can we do it at daytime? If
Yeah.
so, I'm about it.
Yeah, so like, or
Nighttime,
even
no.
just things that are considered fringe, like I was saying, let's try the float tanks.
I want to try a float tank.
Do the float tanks, or get like acupuncture, like, and just report back like what we're doing, or like if people say they do Reiki healing.
I meant to do. Well, we had
Oh,
Ray,
we have
had
a Reiki healer.
We had
I know
Shelley come
Shelley-
on
yeah.
to demonstrate Reiki. We were planning on doing the float tanks at one point, and then COVID happened, and we were like, no.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to float in a petri
Somebody
dish
else's
right
water.
Yeah, I don't want to float in somebody else's pee.
Can you drown in those tanks?
Well, they're supposed to
I mean, you
empty
can.
them every time.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're not, but
I doubt
how
they
do
do.
you know that they are? But there is a lot of salt. I mean, that's why you float, because it's just like
It is a
so.
lot of
It's
salt.
like the Dead Sea. It's filled with salt, and you have.
I mean, I got a lot of salt in me. I float anyway. Like every time I lay in the pool, I just go belly up.
Well, then you don't need to pay money to go to the float tank.
Yeah.
Just close your eyes and imagine darkness.
Oh, is this for people who aren't fat, so they can experience the
You've never.
floating?
You don't know what a float tank is?
No, I don't.
It doesn't require effort,
It's
and
like a
basically you're in a
lightless
capsule. and they-
Capsule, and you float there perfectly neutrally buoyant.
It looks
and
like the little egg from Mork and Mindy.
it does.
That's one of my favorite things to do in a swimming pool is just float and just sit there and just.
So you
not
can
there.
either you go in these little pods, and then it's filled with
But is
like
it total darkness? Is it like
you can do total darkness, or you can have like ambient
can have a
lighting
light
or
show.
sounds like music playing. It's up to you.
Yeah.
And then the point is you're doing sensory deprivation
Ah.
or deprivation.
Deprivation.
Deprecation.
Deprecation?
Yeah, I'm very self-deprecating.
That's Friday night at Hughes'
Yeah,
house.
I deprecate in the yeah. So it's like it turns off your senses, and it's a similar experience to people. Like I know people that actually will do like shrooms and go into it, And then, but even without it, you go into this space of like mindfulness and meditation and almost like a trance-like
We
experience.
should seriously do something like. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, but I'm down for like a road trip or something.
I'm even down to just
I
use this
love
app
it.
to see what
Yeah,
we could do.
that would be
Yeah, let's
fun.
try to use the app. Anyway, let's move on to our final segment. You believe in what?
What?
Now, Hugh wanted to talk about this. I think we've
Hugh
mentioned
pretty
it.
much wanted to talk about all this
He
shit.
wanted to talk
This
about
was
all this shit.
the Hugh
He
episode.
was
Yeah.
excited for this one. I like it.
Okay, do you know what a targeted individual is?
I do.
not.
Do you know what a targeted individual is? Or
I-
before this?
I know people would have like the gang phobia where they feel like they're being followed all the time.
Okay,
It's the
so
same. It's the same as like gang stalking.
same
Yeah.
mental illness, different mechanism for paranoia,
Okay.
Yeah.
basically. So this article is from Wired, and they're talking about the tortured lives of targeted individuals. So basically, it's stating every morning, Lisa wakes up and remembers that she's being tortured. When she looks down at her hand, she can see slightly raised bumps where she believes she had been implanted with microchips. She is certain that the chips track her every move and that her family has been programmed not to listen to her. She knows that her mind has been pushed to the limits of human endurance, the most pain you can put a person through before they die. The targeting, the rewiring of her brain is so extreme that she can no longer even cry. She's 56, a thin woman with elf-like ears, which is an interesting adjective, and bright eyes, an artist who grew up in the Rocky Mountains. She worked at Microsoft for 10 years and started her own web development company with her partner before the electronic attacks, the stalking, and the surveillance began. She knew it had to be some form of technology attacking her because she had worked in the technology industry for more than a decade, and she knew what it was capable of.
Yeah, I mean that seems like that could easily be a psychosis. You're working in the tech industry and you see how these people are just mining data from these unsuspecting people day in and day out. Like that's gonna leave a mark on your psyche, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would use an Oh My Bod. I would implant one in me.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I
there
looked
you
at Lauren when I
go.
said that. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I want implanted
What
in
is
me.
that?
Yeah.
What is that? Oh my god.
Really? You
It's
don't
a
know?
weird sex thing.
I think there's
Weird.
another one for, they call it, that's what the gay people call it, but there's
No,
one for
that's-
women.
No, Oh My Bod is what they use on like cam girl sites.
Yeah.
What
it's-
is it?
It's like a little vibrator thing that like you put inside of you.
And then when you tip somebody,
Oh, yeah,
it
yeah,
pays.
yeah, yeah.
It,
No,
and
no,
you-
I know what it is. You can control it with your phone.
I
You've
wasn't.
seen it.
I wasn't.
It's that
I
little
didn't write a
pink
thesis
thing.
up on the Oh My Bod,
I
but that'll
would-
be on the next episode.
We don't have to get into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it was late in October when her Uber. Oh, I'm sorry. When she sought help, a hospital committed her to a 10-day hold in a mental ward, naturally, teaching her how to calm her racing heart without addressing the technology that Lisa believed was causing it. When she was released, she found answers to her questions online. There was an encyclopedia of information, quote unquote. She says a whole new vocabulary to help explain what she had been experiencing. Gang stalking, brain-computer interference, psychotronics. I felt really thankful, she says. I felt like I was opening up this crack into a whole new universe. I believe she may have also been smoking a little crack.
Just a smidge.
So it was late in October when her Uber had slowed to a stop in the woods after dark. Her driver seemed alarmed. We'd driven to the forest outside of Boston up a rocky, limited access road with few lamps and no residences in sight. We pulled up to a stop at the top of a hill with a few low cinder block buildings in the distance. It was dead quiet. Where are you going? He asked. I tried my best to explain I was there to attend the first ever Unity and Hope Conference, a weekend gathering of targeted individuals. The TIs, there's always an acronym.
Yep.
The TIs were there to learn and organize and to be reminded that they were not alone. Well, if you have a chip and people are talking to you, you always
You're
got
never
someone
alone,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
never alone.
That's that Michael Jackson song. That's what that was about. Chips in your skin.
Yeah, that's it.
individuals.
He was a targeted individual. So at first, I heard about the TI community last summer while researching an article about RFID chips, which I find interesting because if she knows about technology, I would assume she would know
what
about
that
RFID
is.
chips.
What
Like,
are RFID chips?
you know the little chips in your credit card?
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like you can
I knew it
swipe
sounded
it.
familiar, but I wasn't sure.
They
There-
put them
it's-
in your dog too, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
put them in your dog. If like your
Oh, I
dog
didn't know
is
that.
lost and they scan your dog at the vet.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was the same chip. That's
It's
cool.
the same technology.
Same
Yeah.
technology, yeah.
And was actually developed by the Russians.
It's the same chip that's like on your credit card now.
It's the
Like
same
the-
chip
yeah,
that's
yeah.
inside you right now.
I didn't know that was saying no.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
there's
It
only
just
been one
uses
chip
a
inside me.
frequency.
No.
Huh?
I said there's only been one chip inside me.
Doritos or Fritos?
It was a guy.
The guy
Oh,
named
chip. Ah, okay. I don't. Yeah, that was.
So people have been implanting microchips in pets and as tracking devices for years, even though the chips don't actually track locations. You can just scan them when you find a dog, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
They serve as a virtual ID tag to confirm the identity of a lost pet, and if it's listed in a database. Few people know as much about RFID chips as a biohacker named Amal Grafstra.
Grafstra.
Yeah.
On his website, I stumbled on a strange letter called "So You Think You're Being Implanted Against Your Will," which he posted in 2016.
Interesting topic.
Hello, the letter began. You're likely here because you have a problem.
Just a little bit.
Common symptoms. You hear voices or see lights. You believe you've been implanted with a chip against your will. He wanted to help. He was actually a big proponent of RFID technology. He's had a chip implanted in each hand since 2005. Well, he has his own problems.
That sounds like something a cult leader would do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
I'm selling the
fine.
solution and the problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, targeted individuals are just people that constantly feel like they're being
harassed and
harassed
attacked.
and manipulated by unseen forces.
But it's usually a lot of the times it's like the government.
Yeah.
And I know
Yeah, it could manifest itself in a lot of different ways. It's government, or it's aliens, or it's the Catholic Church, or
I
it's
feel
the
like
Illuminati.
I
or
sometimes
Right.
feel like I'm a targeted individual of like the extraterrestrials. Not even joking around. Like sometimes when I was younger, I used to feel that way all the time.
So
your
what were they
cousin was
target?
Your cousin was getting visited. Maybe
I know
you were
that's what
too.
I'm saying. Yeah.
Maybe your
Maybe you were
uncle
too.
was
Maybe
putting on
just-
an alien costume and
Oh,
good
no.
God.
It got dark so fast.
Oh fuck.
No, but like, what other ways did you feel like you were targeted?
I just remember sometimes I would be laying there at night, just trying to go to sleep, and I don't know. I feel like I could just imagine them like watching me.
Leprechaun?
You know, it's probably leprechaun. It's probably all just in my fucking head. You know, like
Or
I said,
were they?
like I said, I have a very overactive imagination. That's why, like, I know tonight I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna have some fucked up dreams. It's gonna scare shit out of me.
Aw.
But when I wake up, I'm gonna be like, oh, it's fucking badass. Or no, I'm gonna wake up and the alien's gonna be like, you're not dreaming.
So like even if it is happening,
Uh-huh.
you have no control over it.
Exactly. Well, that's
And up until this point, here's something you can just remind yourself: like it's never happened. Like nothing has actually happened. It has all been in your head for the most part. Even if it is real,
yeah.
you've never had the experience. And if you did, they've washed your brain out and
Yeah,
they did a blinky thing.
I've accepted that a long time ago. Like,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
yeah, so like, I'm
I'm
not
trying to act like a therapist here to help
Yeah,
you,
no.
help you walk you through this,
I
Brad.
think you're definitely getting abducted tonight.
Yeah.
If I do, you know,
Tell us about it.
if I yeah,
Right, John.
if I make it back, I tell you what though, if I
Yeah,
get,
I'll abduct you.
if I die, I'm gonna haunt the fuck out of them aliens, baby.
I'm gonna say this. I've been on Hinge for a minute and I've had no luck, but I'm gonna try this randomizer app, and if I can fucking get some manifest an alien to come probe me,
Oh man.
All right.
I will
if-
debrief all of you.
What if you get the one alien that's like, no, I like to be probed.
I'll do that too.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
all
he's
right.
flexible.
I'm predominantly top anyways.
Heyo.
Nice.
Oh, that's the thing. I didn't know.
Anyway,
So yeah, people are crazy. They think they're being tracked by the government. Some of them think that the radio towers, like the 5G. We'll put a link to this article because it's pretty long, but
this
it's
is
actually
pretty long,
good.
yeah.
It's
It is
juicy.
good. It is good. Well, we don't have time to get into it. The last thing I wanted to talk about, just paranormal and cryptozoo stuff in entertainment. I finished Max Brooks's newest book
Yeah.
on audiobook, Devolution, which is about it's a fictionalized version, but they present it as being like a real story
Right.
of the Mount Rainier Bigfoot massacre. So what happens in the story is that
So, okay.
Mount Rainier erupts, and this one community is cut off completely from the rest of the world. Like the bridge has been torn out by like a lava flow and stuff, and a troop of Bigfoot have been pushed into their area, and then they're competing for resources.
Oh my god.
So it's done really well. Like I really love Max Brooks just like goes out of his way to research like everything that's ever been written about Bigfoot and then
Right.
like map their behavior and their desires in such a way that it seems like it's a real story.
So what
that you
is
read.
the Bigfoot's biggest desire?
Well,
to be
food.
loved.
Big
Yeah.
shoes.
That's what we all want.
He just wants some big shoes.
No,
It was-
seriously.
It was well, just food. It was just like basically the
Just their instinctual habits.
Well, you know, he basically creates a perfect storm with the volcano erupting is cutting this town off,
Mhm.
but at the same time it's also cutting animals off from escaping.
And now
It's also blocking out the sun, so vegetation that those animals normally feed on don't exist, so
It's
they start to die
dark
off.
and scary looking outside.
He also writes in the wild berry growth for that season was unusually low to begin with, so there was a lot less animals than normal in the area. And then it's just these Bigfoot have no food. The people there, they're living in this like technological green community where things just get delivered to them by drones. So they don't have.
Was this like taking place in the future?
This is I would estimate is like 5 to 10 years in the future. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, are the Bigfoots? What's the plural of it? The
Bigfoots?
Bigfeeties? Are they
Sasquatches.
intelligent? Or are they just like?
They're intelligent. Yeah.
So like can talk? I mean, like that's
Yeah,
what I
but
mean,
they
like,
chose to
don't-
live in the
they
Pacific
don't-
Northwest.
They talk to each other and they do stuff, but you can't tell how intelligent
wanna
they are.
get
But you
legal
know that
weed.
they're an intelligent ape on like the higher side of intelligence.
Okay.
So like Amy, Mother,
Yeah.
that level.
Yeah.
My
That's
team.
exactly it.
It's good. These things are like freaking scary too. So it ends up becoming like a horror novel for sure. But
Did
it's good.
anybody fuck a Sasquatch in this?
Ooh, great
No.
question.
Aw.
Would you fuck a Sasquatch? I'd fuck a Sasquatch.
I mean, I've
mean,
been
if
with
they
a
were
couple
nice.
bears,
Yeah.
but that's pretty close.
Yeah, close enough. But yeah, come back around for our Halloween episode in October.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're trying to figure out: are we going to conjure the dead? Are we going to do some necromancy, or
I
just
think
fuck
we're-
with a Ouija board?
We're definitely, at the very least, we're going to talk about Ouija boards.
Yeah.
We may actually fuck with one. But
I
that's-
know somebody who makes Ouija boards, but I'm not talking like the Parker Brothers or.
Looks like on a slab of wood or stone or something.
It looks like something out of Harry Potter. Like she can really hook it up. So her
Nice.
name is Lauren Morris, and her shop. She has an Etsy shop. I actually used to work with her with my business. It is called Primitive Witchery on Etsy, and she does like a lot of Black Phillip artwork too from like the movie The Witch,
Yeah.
the VVH. But anyways, I'll see if like maybe we can get something from her, and
That would be great.
that'd be kind of
yeah,
cool.
and
I'd
it's-
say
I mean,
we
it's-
should do it.
It's the second Tuesday in October. It's going to be October 13th.
And isn't Halloween on a full moon this
Ooh,
year?
Halloween is on a full moon.
It's on the
and
Friday the 13th. We're doing the
No,
show?
Tuesday.
Tuesday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
It's a little less spooky than a Friday, but yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, stick around. That'll be great.
We can also do human sacrifice. I don't know if that'll violate the terms of Twitch, but I am in need of some adrenochrome.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
who wants
he's starting to get
scared?
bags under his eyes.
My face is sinking.
I'll bring the pizzas.
That's the topic.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening. Remember, check out somethingplanet.com for all back episodes of Mysteriousnesses. Also, anywhere that you can stream a podcast, you can find audio episodes, and check out old video episodes at youtube.com/somethingplanet.
And thank you, everybody, for chatting and talking with us and hanging out.
Yeah, thank you, guys. I'm going to run an ad. So at the end of the show here, this is the end of the show. We're not going to do anything else, but if you could just stick around and watch that ad, that definitely helps us out. I should have done it in the middle of the show. I need to make a check box of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Especially the guys listening live. That's fucking great. It's
Nobody
much fun to
subscribed,
hang
so then
out.
nobody got a tarot reading.
Nobody
I was
got a
really
tarot
wanting to
reading.
get
Oh,
my
well.
Miss Cleo hat
But
out.
yeah.
but-
Offer is on the table still
Oh,
for
hey.
October 13th.
Thank you all so much for listening and watching. And we will be back on October 13th. Yeah.
All right, guys.